What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by the household. And we got my lovely, gorgeous, still pregnant wife.
Those heels are healing.
They're from Amazon.
I like them.
They're literally $15 on Amazon.
I'm obsessed.
I was telling Susie this the other day that I think animal prints are going to come back.
What you did tell me that, and yeah, I think they
100%.
are officially back.
They're officially back.
They're $15.
They're $15 on Amazon.
We're on a budget. We got twins coming.
I'm
Drop the link.
Literally, no, but I think like deer print, doe print, is like
yeah.
the.
I said cow print is going to come back.
Wait, what is doe print?
Like deer.
It's like light brown.
It's
with a little bit of white, maybe.
Kind of,
but like faux, right?
Cute.
Because we don't want little
Faux.
baby deer.
Yes,
on our
100%
show.
faux.
For sure.
Yeah.
Not Bambi.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No.
not Bambi.
No, not Bambi.
Yeah.
No, I'm still pregnant, but we did have one baby flip. The wrong baby, the one that I don't need to be flipped.
You're kidding.
But she's flipped. Baby B is head down. Baby A is still up there in the ribs.
And the other one's going to flip? Or ideally?
We want her to. We're hoping she will. I'm still seeing my magician chiropractor who's...
You got one.
He got one. I literally came back and I was like,
Is it crazy?
Worked.
Is it so we have the names picked out mostly because like River really latched onto them. We really liked a couple names. And then we're like, we're going to try it out.
Yeah.
Asked River if she could say the names.
Cute.
She hasn't stopped saying the names. So we're
like pot committed.
We're pot committed.
Yeah.
Is it crazy? Now, one of the names is, we have some family elements to the names. One of the names has a family element for Natalie's family. One of the names has a family element for my family. And based off of the ultrasound pictures that we've gotten, we've already decided who's
Which
who.
one?
The one that looks most like River.
Because the one that looks more like River, we've named after my family.
I love this.
Yeah.
Which is maybe crazy because they're based off of 4D ultrasounds that are, mostly accurate. But one does look a lot like River's, and the other baby looks like a Greek goddess.
Could it change when they come out? If baby B comes out and looks more like River than you thought, then are you gonna swap the names?
Good question.
I feel like we would have to, right? That's kind of what I've been saying this whole time is if baby B comes out and that's the one that has River's nose.
Yeah.
And she comes out and we're like, oh my God, it looks just like River did. Like it's got to be the right one. But also the other day I was like, after my dad passed, I was like, I really want to like incorporate something for him in the names, and I was like, Nick, what if we did 2 middle names? And he was like, that just feels really excessive.
I have 2 middle names, by the way.
I love
You
it.
have
I do, yeah.
What are they?
Kaniela Akvali. So Kaniela was the Hawaiian name that my parents chose, but Akvali is my mom's maiden name.
Love.
But I think the look of 2 middle names is cool because then you can abbreviate it, so it's just in K.A. Phillips. So it sounds cool.
Yeah.
I think reconsider. I don't know.
But then Nick was like, well, every time we go somewhere, someone's like, with River, they're like, oh, what's her name? And Nick's like, River Rose. And I'm like, yeah, but once we have 3 kids, we're not going to be like given first and middle for each kid.
If they're as easy to say as River Rose, they might.
But I really wanted to give the one that had, that was part of my family lineage, like the piece to my dad, and Nick was like, wow, you're really splitting them up. Like you're really drawing a hard line down.
I get one.
Yeah. One's your baby and one's my
It's
baby.
very Parent Trap, in case we get one of the divorce.
Yeah, one will move to London, live in the countryside,
have an accent.
Yeah.
Well, we have a great episode lined up for you. The iconic Kaylor Martin from Love Island Season 6 joins us to talk all about Love Island, catch up with Kaylor, what's going on in her life these days. Obviously, she and the rest of the Season 6 cast was so pivotal in the success that we are now seeing with Love Island. So it will be great to catch up with Kaylor, certainly get her insight on what's happening inside the villa. No one knows the behind the scenes better than obviously the cast members themselves. So we're very excited to talk to Kaylor. We also obviously have a crazy finale of the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Boy, we love a camera pickup.
Ooh, love a camera pickup.
I mean, really just
with
kind
like
of
a news anchor opening it
a
up.
mugshot.
Did anyone see that? Did we know about this?
I saw it, but I was confused.
I really didn't.
I
I think I did see the mugshot of Brian, but I guess I don't know.
Thought it was old. Yeah.
I thought it was, I honestly thought it was old.
It looked old. Yeah, that's what I think I deduced.
Yeah.
Because you saw it for a second and then it just kind of like disappeared. So you didn't really like hear anything about it.
For him to be at that dinner table trying to sell the entire cast at this, like, yeah, I'll admit to it, but it's in the past and we're working on this marriage, only for him to cheat harder. Track your own wife just so you can know when she's showing up so that you can like hide the mistress underneath the desk is crazy.
Some would say he put his ego and pride aside, not her.
Some would say. Well, don't forget that Viall Files Plus is available and ad-free. In addition to ad-free episodes on Viall Files Plus, you also get amazing content like our reality recap deep dive. We get deep into all things Love Island. I think we talk about Sydney Sweeney and Scooter Braun dating. We also get into the impact of AI and how that's going to affect potentially the world going forward. We have a fun, spirited conversation, and I hope that you guys all enjoy it. And if you want to, go to viallfiles.com to sign up. You'll be glad that you did. Lots to get into, but obviously with Love Island, we are catching up from episodes, lots of episodes to cover over the weekend. Bea went home, sadly.
So sad.
I know. I really was not expecting that at all. Like
Really?
I expected Jen and Gabe to be paired up for America to do that, but I did not expect
An elimination.
Yeah.
Listen, Bea quickly became one of my favorites because she seemed to be like so emotionally grounded, and so like she just made so much sense. And I really, every time she sat down with someone, I really appreciated her because she seemed like the type of person who really cared about her peers, and she seemed to be not, things didn't get to her as much. But it may, I don't know how much producers had a say in this. Obviously, with the votes, they, behind the scenes, they're obviously navigating storylines and things like that, but. On some level, it makes a lot of sense that maybe from a Love Island standpoint, producers felt like she was almost too emotionally mature and too grounded where she maybe wasn't giving them the reactions that they wanted. And I wonder if that maybe played a role in her exit because she was almost like, too secure with herself in a way that is great from a human standpoint, but from a reality TV standpoint, it's like, can you give us a tear?
Right. She's a great role model, though.
She is a great role model.
Great role model. And I will say, it's giving like Game of Thrones. Your favorite character can die at any moment, and it's like it's a way for the producers to show us like your votes count. Like what you're doing, like you can save your favorite people, and I think it gets people really emotionally invested. Like 2 heavy hitters went home already, and it's just like, it's kind of like sick and twisted, but at the same time, like it gets me emotionally invested. I'm like, okay, well, I will download the app.
Like if you told us that Bea was going to be in the finale, I would have been like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's the second one to go home is shocking.
I know. I
do have another Substack that's coming out tomorrow. I hope you all enjoy it and read it and check it out. It's titled "Am I the Problem?" Obviously, I got the idea from Melanie. I think Melanie is one of the most important characters of this season, and the reason why is like things have happened so fast, but like it was the first or second episode where Melanie very just honestly, one of the most honest things you can say and admit, when she was like, it was some version of like, I think people just get sick of me.
Oh yeah,
like such a vulnerable thing. And I don't know about you guys, but like when she said that, like I felt that in my chest. Like I have a type of personality that like isn't always for everyone, and like throughout my life I have like had versions of that's their problem, other people's business, other people's opinions of me, and none of my business. But at some point, we sometimes have to face the feedback that is received to us. But like the reason why I think Melanie is so important, because in the first few episodes we saw the whole character arc of hers, because not only did Melanie say that, we quickly got to see from Melanie some examples of why maybe people in her past have gotten sick of her.
Yeah.
And then we got to see Melanie sit down with Sincere and like hear Sincere like just explain to her like what frustrated her. And Melanie listened, and she took accountability, and she acknowledged it, and she like faced it. And that, granted, she's had those ups and downs, but like that kind of, to me, a Melanie is going to have more success in this world because she, feels and has sensitivity, but she is willing to hear people. Anyways, I wrote a whole Substack about like just kind of that mental journey that we have to go through, and like our personalities. What is our baseline of our personality versus like, that balance between having the confidence to like know who you are and move forward, and that balance of actually listening to the feedback that you get from people.
Well, I'm curious. I'm not trying to spoil the Substack, but do you think people should change based on feedback from others?
Basically, not to give anything away, I think it's a general balance. I think you have to like, you have to find that balance in life of knowing when, listen, like not everyone's gonna like me. I can't, like there's the cook who like will like, or the person in the relationship that shows up and is like, what do you want? What can I do for you?
Yeah.
What do you want to eat? Where do you want to go? Is everything okay? And like that's the person who like is the people pleaser, right?
Yeah.
And there's a cost to like pleasing everyone. And the flip side of that is the person who like no substitutions.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, which is fine. And maybe that's who you are, but eventually people will stop or, showing up, and it's that balance of knowing like who are the important people in your life.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like you can't please everyone, but you do have to make sure that you're not using that language, the people you really care about, the people, your friends,
Mm-hmm.
the friend that you haven't talked to in a while, and maybe you blame because there's been that distance, but asking yourself like, what role could I have played? And that's why I appreciate about Melanie is that she's always, you see her effort, right? And with Sincere, you don't really know how much he cares because when he's sitting in front of you, he seems to say what you want to hear. Melanie, if you're in a relationship with Melanie, there might be highs and lows, but she cares about you. And I can tell you, like in our relationship, feeling Nallie's love is the thing that matters most to me. If we're down bad, if we're in disconnect, knowing that person still cares. We've all been in relationships where you're like, I don't think they like me anymore. I don't even know if they give a fuck. And if you don't think that other person gives a fuck, there's nowhere to go with. And with someone like Melanie, there might be like highs and lows. You might get frustrated, but like knowing someone cares is so important in a relationship. And then her just learning how to manage those moments, is kind of like the journey of life. Like I've realized a lot of things about myself, and I'm still like, I still work on it. That baseline of who I was as a high school kid, like I've done a lot of work on him, but like that person's still inside me.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Natalie, have you read this one?
I have, yeah.
And is he the problem?
He's never the problem.
Aww.
He's
That's
never,
cute.
ever the problem.
Aww.
It's so funny because I am obviously like very hormonal right now. So I can be like a bit of a bitch, unfortunately, in moments. And just in quick little snippets. It
Yeah.
doesn't
We
last
all,
long.
we all are for the record.
Yeah.
Doesn't
yeah.
last long.
Does not last long at all. Okay.
Quick
No, but I
turnaround.
imagine what Natalie's going through is like the way I see Natalie move right now, or like struggle with her pregnancy. It reminds me of when I was on Special Forces, and I was literally
Honestly,
Damn.
suffering.
Literally.
You are
I
on
was
Special
I was
Forces right now.
suffering the last 4 days, and
Yeah.
every moment was like, just get to the end, just get to the end.
Yeah.
And when I see Natalie suffering,
Aw.
it reminds me of the last few days of Special Forces, but she has like weeks
Yeah.
and months of it. So like it's totally
Yeah.
accepted and valid and okay, baby.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Was there a moment that you thought of?
I don't know. What did I say to you the other day? And you said something about like my tone or my attitude. And I was like, yeah, well, like, I don't really care. And then you just like walked over and gave me a kiss. And I was like,
Oh.
God.
Suddenly I do care.
Yeah. It's the worst.
I was like, what's with your tone? She's like, what is with it? Deal with it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Turns out you just need a little kiss.
Turns out it needs love.
a little love. That's
All I got to
that's
say
so
is give me
sweet.
10 because I'm going to be reading the essay.
Give me
me
10.
10.
Give me 10. I'm reading it as well.
We have obviously a lot of Love Island to get into, but I'm worried about Casey, and I'm worried about him in a way that like I just don't. I'm not saying overall he's not just a fine, swell guy, but he seems to move more like the rest of the boys than we wanted to believe, I think. I don't know. I think he's
Yeah.
doing Anaya dirty a little bit and leading her on
I
in
know.
a way that feels a little uncomfy.
You guys have kind of swayed me because I was like, I don't know. I think maybe he's just like his interest has been piqued a little bit and he doesn't want to act on it. Like at first I was like, well, he was really intrigued by Soul, but then he didn't act on it. But we kind of chatted and you guys kind of, reminded me that the way he spoke with Soul, it was kind of like.
No, these guys make telling the truth look so painful and difficult. And it's just like Kenzie goes to Corbin, we kissed.
Yes.
Okay.
Respectable.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Just fucking say it out loud, not like, well, I mean, yeah, but only like they're always downplaying the truth or
Sincere
avoiding
did
the
it too.
truth.
Ugh.
And it's just like so unnecessary.
Yeah.
You're being recorded.
Yeah.
You're on a TV show.
Right.
And the fact that they know they're being filmed, and I know we always talk about how quickly, and as you know, like they forget that cameras are being, are on them, but they know it's a TV show, and like they just can't just be upfront. It's shocking, and it shows. To me, that just says like how easy it is for these guys to just avoid the truth or talk around the truth and things like that. Obviously, we'll get into it when we have Kaylor on the show and dive deep into Love Island.
Kaylor, and it's going to be, are there any, maybe like at challenges and stuff, but when they're just lounging around the villa, are there like full cameramen with, or are they fully relying on the like little hidden cameras?
I think it's a full,
that's a good
I think
question.
it's the hidden cameras.
I would assume it's both, yeah.
I also have a question for the class.
Let's get her.
And I'm very curious about that as well. Because I'm like, do they just not think that they're being recorded? I don't know. But honestly, I used to think that guys had like been with girls that were like so crazy that they were like taught not to lie or to hide, to like avoid conflict. And like
I didn't want you to get mad.
I didn't want you to get mad, guys. Yeah. And I dated several guys that were like, my ex was so crazy, like I couldn't tell her anything. And I'm like, I'm different. Like, you can tell me, And then watching these shows, I'm like, I actually don't know that any of these women were ever like that. Like, I'm like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? You know what I mean? Like, I've never started a relationship where I'm like going to get angry with somebody for just being honest. But once you, like, to me, it's like once you lie, especially at the beginning, it's like I have such a hard time like overcoming that and like getting past that, because I'm like, wait, now I actually don't know your character or your where your values are. And like, I don't know. I feel like with guys, I'm just like, are they actually traumatized and this is like a defense, or is it like, are they just like this?
That's what makes the healed guys dangerous.
Yeah.
The healed ones.
The healed ones. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's like, what did Sierra say, her quote on After Sun?
Guys are so obsessed with the title of being a good guy that they forget to exhibit the characteristics.
Literally, it's so frustrating. I've been with somebody before who was so caught up on like, you think this of me, you think this of me, you think this of me. I'm like, well, where have your actions been to lead me otherwise? Right. Like, I don't understand why people are so obsessed with being like seen as this nice guy when it's like, just be a nice guy. And don't be afraid of, like, if you're KC, like, explore, but talk about it. Or even if you're not exploring, be like, yeah, my interest was piqued and like, she's beautiful and whatever, but like, I'm locked in on you. Like, I don't understand where this obsession with like looking like a nice guy but not acting like one is coming from.
And just like, if you're Melanie, it must be very frustrating, and I hate to use the word gaslighty because of the connotation behind it, but like it's got to be confusing to sit with Sincere and the way he was like, I wanted to be like paired with Melanie. No, you didn't. You wanted to be paired with Soul, and just acknowledge that and admit it and move forward. But the way you talk to Melanie is got to be incredibly confusing, because that we've all been in those relationships where you like someone, you're obsessed with them, you don't know why you're drawn to them, but like if it's not going to work out, you kind of want them to let you go.
Oh yeah.
And Sincere won't let Melanie go.
Yeah.
Like, she wants to be freed of this obsession, and he won't allow it to happen. And he calls that
stringing her along.
Yeah, he calls that like,
if you will,
honesty or sympathy, and it's anything but. Anyways, we'll obviously get into it when we have Kaylor on coming up shortly. But before we do, got some headlines to get into. We got Tyra Banks is suing Netflix.
Not our Netflix.
Unfortunately, our Netflix. Yes.
Which is crazy, because she's suing them for defamation, claiming that 16 minutes of her lengthy interview was used in the docuseries, and that the clips were stripped of context and reassembled to support a false and defamatory narrative unrelated to what she actually expressed. It's like, first of all, Tyra Banks, you come from this world. You were the one a part of clipping and stripping context away.
Been doing this.
You've been doing this.
Some of the models were like, welcome to America's Next Top
Yes!
Model. They were like, that's what happened to us.
Literally.
That's so good.
They should all be suing America's Next Top Model.
Right.
Like, I do find this crazy. I saw one response of Tyra's being like, if I would have known that they were going to ask me about like Miss J being in a coma and me not visiting in the hospital, like, it's because I was living in Australia for the last 2.5 years. Ma'am.
Flights exist.
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
That we're gonna have to run that one back.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure she can afford a first class ticket
first
back.
class.
Yeah.
I saw someone say just release all the footage of the 3-hour interview, because the implication is that maybe Tyra lacks the self-awareness that maybe many of us hope that she has, and she doesn't realize what she's saying. So just air all 3 hours of the footage with the implication that like it's not going to look any better for Miss Tyra.
Her team is saying that she participated in the documentary series because she believed viewers deserved a candid conversation about the show's legacy, its success, and its shortcomings. And then they said there are aspects of the show for which Miss Banks takes accountability, and she wanted America's Next Top Model viewers to hear that from her directly. So I think they're implying that she did do more, but I mean, we all watched the documentary.
Tyra,
right?
you come on our podcast and tell your whole version of the story if you want to, or you can go on a live. You know, there's nothing stopping her from.
I do think there's a world where she probably did take accountability, and like, I mean, you watch the documentary and you're like, wow, that's like wild that she said it the way she did, but there probably was more to it, you know.
But also that quote about Miss J being in the hospital, like that tells me everything I need to know.
It does say a lot.
You know,
I do wonder though, as crazy as it sounds, is there precedent of this type of interview style, and the fact that like if you're gonna interview someone, show the whole thing, but like I don't know if that will stand. I don't know.
I don't know. I guess it honestly probably depends on what was actually said. You know, if it was
what all they cut out.
like if it was truly manipulated in a way to like defame her, then sure, maybe she's got a case. I don't know. But
are they gonna make a judge and a jury like watch the 3-hour footage?
Put me in. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because also it's like, why would you watch it and you're like, why did she participate in this? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's where I kind of think maybe she was under a different impression or like said other things.
I mean, I think that's always the case when you're doing a doc like this. You have your truth. You have, everyone came in with their truth, and then the people making the documentary. It's just like a reality TV show. And it's just like anyone who's ever watched me on this podcast, on a reality TV show, you saw a version of me. If you talk to a reality TV producer, they will tell you that the people they see on the screen are the people they meet in person. If you actually talk to a reality TV star, they're like, no, like you're only seeing parts of me. That's not all of me who you see. And they're both true.
Yeah.
Right? Like I mentioned this in the essay. Like my whole life, the way I've want people to receive me and the way I've showed up, there's often been a gap between how I want to come across and how I've come across with people. And reality TV didn't invent that gap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've been that person in high school where I meant this.
Yeah.
Why didn't you receive it this way? And then I go on reality TV and I feel that kind of disconnect, And now I still feel like you've only seen snippets of me. You don't get the whole picture, things like that, which is true.
Yeah.
But also when you're filming a reality TV show, they can't air everything. There's many people's stories they have to tell and share. And so they're trying to capture the main essence of who you are. And the people making these shows will say like, I've hung around you enough. I have enough footage of like, yeah, there might be nuance, but like, this is who you are. And then there's truth to both.
Yeah. And it might also be like, this is also the most interesting part of who you are. Not necessarily the most interesting, and maybe not to yourself, but like, to the public, like we don't really care about. I mean, I would love to see what Tyra said, but I feel like for the most part, like whatever she maybe feels like she was remorseful about, like I'm sure everyone's like, we don't care. Like give us the interesting stuff, which is probably the 16 minutes that they clipped and put in.
Yeah, she probably had a bunch of context of like why she did what she did, or why her thought process was this or that. And if you're one of the models, you're like, I don't. You still ruined my life. I still had to get years of therapy or blah, 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 blah. So like the context or your explanation, Tyra, doesn't really land with me. And I imagine people making that doc were like, bullshit. Like, let's put this in there. So like, I would gather that if we watched that 3 hours of videos, most of us wouldn't have our opinion changed. And Tyra could be watching it and being like, see, I said that and I did this and I said this but this is what I meant and this I didn't mean this, and it's just like,
I know.
And that's kind of the story of life.
I think she should go live. I think she should do
like
a
live.
Get Ready with Me.
I would watch it.
I would watch it.
Oh
I would lock in. Yeah.
And then she can save it and post it to feed.
Yes. 23 minutes.
Have you guys been following on a separate topic, like Mormon wife stuff this weekend?
I saw we got Jordan hanging out with Taylor at a concert.
Kid Cudi concert.
We got Jessi doing some photo ops.
The fake paparazzi photos, yeah.
People make such a big deal about the fake paparazzi photos? And do we always know they're fake? Or is it a paparazzi photo, or is it just like a day in the life stuff?
Yeah.
Well,
like,
I think with Jessi, it was like my friend who's
For
a
the record,
photographer, and it was like we're doing this whole bit, and then they released the like behind the scenes footage of them like walking into dinner.
And then,
so
like, going
what's
back
the
and
problem with
posing.
that? Why do we care so much?
I just think some people believe that paparazzi photos are always real. But I don't know, living in LA, I'm like, every paparazzi photo to me is somewhat staged, which isn't true.
I will say, Nick and I, definitely not all of them, Nick and I went to the farmer's market on Sunday, and there was some paparazzi there. And we're walking with River. Obviously, we're like, oh, this is, we don't want photos of River.
But there's also I believe a California law saying the paparazzi can't sell photos with kids in it. We think.
Is it just like they can't show their face or
Not entirely
we should
sure.
Google this because Nick, we were talking about this, and it reminded me of the photo that recently came out of Kylie Jenner, and she's walking with Stormy, and she's like covering her face with her bag, and the photo's out there, and everyone's like, "Why wouldn't you cover your kid's face?" And I'm thinking like, well, maybe if she thought this.
They couldn't show it.
Yeah, like then she's like, I'll just cover my face so you can't use this photo anyways.
We were walking, the paparazzi guy took some photos, and then, you see them and they're sometimes, a lot of them are nice, they're doing their thing, and they'll say thank you or they'll say hi. This paparazzi had a t-shirt on. He's like, "Hey, look at my t-shirt." And he's like, "Don't worry, I didn't take a picture of your kid," which was like, okay, I don't know how you didn't, because
we're with her.
Yeah. And his shirt was his shirt said no. It was like a statement about no kids for paparazzi, whatever. And we're like, cool, man. And anyways, but we talked to this paparazzi, I don't know, for 20, 30 seconds. If someone took a photo of us talking to paparazzi, it definitely and then these photos came out, it definitely could look like it was some kind of setup.
We were like, hey, we're going to walk down past the watermelons.
Yeah.
You get us.
You're putting your lip gloss on.
I do think that happens
yeah, for sure.
I do think that happens. Also, for all the people freaking out about Taylor with Jordan, is it kind of weird to see? Sure, because Jessi has been one of the few staunch supporters of Taylor throughout all this drama that Taylor's going through. It almost feels like maybe a betrayal of Jessi from Taylor. But again, I think we sometimes lose sight of the fact that despite all the drama, these people know each other. They've been working with each other inside a life of drama.
Wait, I don't feel like this is Taylor with Jordan.
We don't know for sure.
I thought it looked
I think
like
it
her.
is.
It starts with showing her.
No, I do not think this is her.
You
All the
don't?
comments are like, that's not her, that's not her.
Wait,
That's
So
not
it's
her.
not even
Okay.
her.
It doesn't look like. I don't think it's her.
Can I see the photo?
It looks like her. to me.
Yeah. There's
I
a
wanna see
video.
it. Wait, do you have it?
It is a brunette with sunglasses.
That literally looks like her.
I feel like that's her.
I don't think it is, guys.
Oh, wait, it
That's
might be
not like.
Okay, so it may or may not be her.
Well, someone said she's wearing jeans. Taylor doesn't wear jeans. She wears sweatpants.
Literally.
Okay, so for
That's
argument's sake, let's say it was her. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I think there's a good. If they showed up together, picked each other up, that would be maybe a little odd. But if they maybe went to the concert, saw each other, and had a conversation, sat down and talked, I just don't think that's.
They said it's a different girl.
No
Oh.
way.
Oh, it's not even Taylor. Oh.
Wow. Well, I was going to say,
Fake
I will
news.
say if it were a big deal, I think we would hear about it from Taylor or Jessi.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like Jessi would be posting
Live.
Literally, we had the flowers.
Yeah.
That Jessi sent Miranda after she kissed Chase.
I guess you're right.
Miranda posted the
Yeah.
flower. These women,
We would know.
we would know.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
They
So-
don't run from a story
No.
or a headline.
They create them.
They do.
They do.
I just don't think it's I just think seeing these people with other people isn't an immediate oh my God, something's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe they just ran into each other. They still are familiar faces
Yeah.
when you're surrounded by people who aren't. There is that common ground.
Yeah.
You run into someone from the Bachelor franchise, whether you've had beef or not. Unless it's serious beef, there is always going to be a familiarity with them about especially when you're surrounded by people who aren't, who might want access to you that you don't want to give access to them. I just don't think it's that big of a deal when you see these people together
Yeah.
at any given time. I don't think it's always something nefarious.
I don't know. I think what we have learned about Taylor is that she is a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows obviously
Sure.
Jordan is very close with Dakota. And I do not think she would be
right.
sitting
Yeah,
on
I
a
don't
picnic
think-
No, that would have been
blanket
weird. But
by Jordan. Even if she saw him and she was like, I know nobody else here, Taylor would sit alone.
you're absolutely right. I'm just saying, if for some reason someone got caught in a photo situation, I think we sometimes have to be careful to jump to conclusions and make a bunch of accusations again. If it was Taylor, and I don't think all the things you're saying about Taylor would be immediately discounted if she was like, yeah, no, I ran into him, I talked to him a little bit. She probably told Jessi afterwards right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, there always could be more to the story.
Yeah. Do you guys have an embarrassing paparazzi story? Like sometime where you're like, oh, I really wish they didn't catch me there.
I mean, I've seen a couple of photos of me like shoving a sandwich into my face that ended up in
No,
Us
you
Weekly.
need to talk about the one of you letting Vanessa hold all the groceries.
There was that.
And you're like on your phone.
I co-hosted TMZ last week, which was kind of fun, new experience. And one of the stories was about
Millie Bobby Brown.
And her partner was like photographed pushing the stroller.
No, Millie was.
Millie was pushing the stroller, and it seemed like he was just like hands free.
Yeah.
And then when we were going through the stories, I'm like, you guys have a photo of me that you guys covered years ago of me holding all of Vanessa holding all the groceries, which was very embarrassing. But the context was like we were at the grocery store and she was like, she literally goes, I haven't worked out today.
Oh
so
my gosh.
I want to carry all the bags. And I wasn't thinking at all. I'm like, yeah, cool. No problem.
Great.
And she's carrying
like, great. I got a couple of texts.
She's carrying like 5 bags of groceries and I'm just walking beside her, just like a gentleman being like, you got this. I was mortified.
You needed the t-shirt that was like, she needs a workout.
What's actually even crazier is the skinny jeans I was wearing in that photo, which was even more cringe.
More criminal.
More
criminal.
It was like, like the ripped jeans, tights.
Real tight.
Were they like cuffed? Oh, you've got cuffs right now. Were they like cuffed at the bottom and like a little bit high? No, I like the cuff.
You've got cuffs. Oh, we haven't grown out of that one, have we?
You are wearing them now.
These are tapered, not skinny though.
No, there's a difference. When they're skinny and they're rolled up and they're like a little, it's not quite well, maybe it is a capri.
Ooh, bad.
It's borderline.
Bad. I know what you're talking about.
Is this too capri?
No, not at all. It's because you're sitting. No.
Those are good.
Perfect.
Is that fine?
They're not
Perfect
skinny
length.
though. Yeah, they're not skinny.
Forget what I said. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking.
There's a photo that Chambla sends me all the time, and it's of me, I think maybe like the week before I gave birth to River, and I'm just like wearing boxer shorts and like a crop top and my belly's out, and it's me, my mom, and Nick walking across the street, and I have never looked just like bigger, swollen.
Well, what was the caption on the photo?
I have no idea, but she sends it to me all the time of just like checking in.
Does she ever send it as a sticker?
Oh my God, no.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So
Yeah,
bad.
send it to me.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I will.
We also had Amanda and Kyle walking out of the In the City reunion.
Everyone is up in arms about
Hands together, smiling, as if these people don't deserve any joy in their life whatsoever.
Right.
like so much so that they made Kyle have to do a clearing up video of like,
Crazy.
here's the context behind this. Because I guess people were thinking, oh, it was leaving the In the City reunion. So everyone was like, oh, it must not have been like that hard hitting of a reunion.
Well, because in the
if, like,
photo, they're
she's
like literally
laughing.
smiling. Yeah.
And they're calling it staged, but like, again, maybe it was staged, but like there are definitely going to be paparazzi in New York City camping out. They know when
For
the reunion's
sure.
being filmed.
For this one specifically, too.
And Kyle literally said, we were walking down together. We were leaving at the same time, and we were laughing in the elevator about like, oh, could you imagine if there was a paparazzi outside, like, and what that would look like? And they open the door, and boom, there's a paparazzi. They get a photo. So that
Now
makes
they
them,
must
like,
have
laugh
known
even harder.
paparazzi were probably going to be outside, so that might be slightly disingenuous, but nevertheless.
I could see it being real though. You know, if it was like a back door. I didn't see the pictures.
Yeah, kind of.
Like
yeah.
maybe they didn't know. I don't know.
I mean, listen, like in between all the drama, again, these people, like
At the
they
end of the
are
day, yeah.
living real lives, and you can be mad at someone. We know that Kyle still has a lot of love and respect for Amanda, despite what you think of everything going on. They were together for 10 years. They were married. Like that's
Yeah.
what's going on right now, as bad as it is, doesn't justify like Kyle canceling Amanda from his life.
Yeah.
Like that's just not how shit works. And like that was a conversation we were having with Sierra whenever, the whole like, is Wes a sociopath? And I was like, I just feel like I said that's kind of a lazy take. And I guess my point is like in life, we love talking about this drama, but the reality is like we all do versions of this. It's like to call everyone who does something incredibly selfish, who can't see other people's points of view in the heat of the moment, is something we all do. And to call all those people like narcissists or sociopath, I think not only like is like kind of a lazy take, but I don't think it protects us the way we have to protect ourselves, because like it's one thing to try to avoid all the sociopaths and narcissists, of which there's not as many as we think about, but like the truth is it doesn't protect us from realizing that generally good people can get in their own way, cannot in any given moment not see other people's side of things. Like I think it's a bullshit for what West is doing, blaming it on the show, right? In terms of like, oh, it's just a show. That doesn't mean it's completely, his point of view is completely untrue, in the sense that like, I'm sure he does tell themselves it's just a show. We are dealing with a franchise that like does scenes, right? Like not everything they say is completely authentic. They do have like input from producers. They do lean into storylines. Now that doesn't discount the human emotion of what like Sierra has felt, going after West all these years. It can be both real for her, and you can still have a cast member on the cast kind of like discounting the experience because like they're talking to producers and they're doing scenes. Does that make sense to you? Am I making sense? Yeah,
and also it just kind of, you saying that made me think of like so many people from the Bachelor world, their experiences are so different. Like a lot of people from the cast that I've been on will fully say that like people that I know or like we're friends with or like we're in relationships with, like they were a producer plant. The whole thing was a producer plant. And I'm like, no, it literally wasn't. Like it's literally not that. But some people in the same cast as me will have such a different experience that they will think something is so fabricated and untrue. And I'm like, wait, no, because it's my experience and like it was real. So the fact that somebody can think this is so produced or so manipulated, but they're walking away from it with a totally different experience than me. And so it's like, it's kind of the same thing. It's like two people can have the same experience at the same place and have wildly different perspectives.
Well, speaking of different experiences, now you have Lindsay on Threads about
she's going in. I mean, she started with the paparazzi photos where she jumped in and clarified like we were all going to get food after, so on and so forth. And then now she's jumping in, responding to Wes Wilson.
Wes, what a bold thing for him to get on his podcast and say that he hopes the Knicks lose, so that way they go to Game 6 and they play in New York City on Tuesday night at the exact same time that his bonus episode that he did participate in and, like Lindsay said, is getting paid for, airs. And he wants everyone to watch the Knicks instead of that bonus episode.
It's an inside thought.
Literally an inside thought. Yes. It's a group chat, text. Yeah. It's like not for your podcast.
Lindsay's Threads, outside thoughts.
At the same time, I don't think he is threatening her job.
Well, he did. Remember when he went on that podcast and he said that there's no world in which after she has a baby, she'll come back to Summer House?
Sure. But that's just one person's opinion. He's not a producer. He doesn't have a say. A lot of us wondered how Lindsay was going to participate in Summer House going forward.
Is she saying he's coming for her job because he's like not wanting the views on the show? Is that
kind of essentially? Yeah. It's kind of like, listen, like
she's saying a lot. I mean, she's every hour there's a new thing. So like the first thing she said was like, 1, Wes Wilson, you're trash, trying to get people to not watch our show. That I brought you on. You should move immediately, which is In the City. 2, I haven't seen Tuesday's Aftermath episode, but I feel it in my bones. It is good. 3, In the City is just heating up. We are half the way. Holy shit, what a roller coaster. 4, our In the City reunion was so good. We might have parts. 5, I'm on Carl's podcast on Tuesday. That was the first batch. The second batch was, good morning. Hope everyone slept well last night. I know I did. Woke up with some more thoughts if anyone cares. 1, maybe Wes Wilson should go on his podcast and publicly apologize to me for using my daughter as clickbait and as a decoy to distract from the secret relationship with Amanda. Instead of talking shit about the show, he was so fortunate for me to put him on. 2, Wes has tried to threaten my career/show now 3 times, and it's quite frankly disgusting. No other words to describe it. And then 3, I guess. First was when he was on a podcast after I had Gemma and told everyone there's no way I could come back to Summer House. We should have known then. He's not smart, but here we are. Then with his diabolical decision-making skills to manipulate Amanda into dating him and threaten the status of our friend group and future of the show. And now trying to get people to watch Tuesday's episode that he participated in. So that's the whole Nick's thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's gone on also to like talk about how he manipulated Amanda. So there's every hour there's a new.
And fans are mad that Lindsay is suggesting that West manipulated Amanda.
Yeah, I think there's some people that are saying she's empathizing with Amanda, therefore giving into the victimization narrative. But
Why? Amanda can be both wrong and manipulated by West. That can
Both can be true.
both
Yeah,
can be
Sure.
true, and
She
it doesn't
can be a
excuse
shitty friend
Amanda.
and a shitty partner to Kyle, and also
You can still and you
manipulated,
can
yeah.
still hold a man accountable and be like, he might have done this. You still should have known better.
Yeah,
And now that we're bringing it to your attention,
definitely.
You know,
move different.
you could still choose to move different. Amanda's still choosing not to move differently, so she can still get criticism for that. But we don't have to ignore
Yeah.
the reality of this situation. And it's like, why are people so committed to making sure that Amanda is like properly critiqued and criticized and canceled, while like letting West off the hook? I don't understand why we're so obsessed with making sure that Amanda doesn't survive this, that we want that we allow West to, you know.
it's also the same post where Lindsay literally says, yes, Amanda is a grown-ass woman and makes her own big girl decisions, and yes, she needs to deal with those big girl consequences. So it's like she's
Right.
also criticizing Amanda. It's just in the same post she says about West or whatever the fuck his hot dog smelling ass.
I'm quite looking
like,
forward to Amanda's
like-
in the city reunion performance, because obviously she knows how poorly it landed the first time. Very rarely do we have like a second opportunity for someone to kind of maybe hopefully not be on the beta blockers or whatever she was, and hopefully she will have a lot more oxygen, because Sierra won't be there. As much as we might want Sierra to be here, like, maybe Amanda will. Again, we're not blaming Sierra for this, but Amanda might feel more comfortable explaining her relationship with West more. I'm sure we won't agree with any of it, but I am curious about how Amanda, now months later, who is still with West, explain that relationship.
Yeah.
And again, like, I want to hear Amanda explain the whole thing, kind of like almost like Tyra Banks. Just let her talk.
Yeah.
Just, and uninterrupted, let Amanda just talk. And I don't think Amanda's going to make much sense, but I want to hear Amanda explain it uninterrupted.
Mm.
When
was this bonus episode filmed? Do we know?
right after the reunion.
Oh, right after.
Yeah.
Ugh, I need something right now. You know what I mean? I'm like, give us.
Well, it is tonight.
I guess that's in the city reunion is that.
Oh,
Yeah,
but that's
the In the
true.
City
But
reunion
we'll have to
is
wait for
now.
that shit.
I know, I
Like,
know.
it's like
we have
I'm
a whole half of
so-
In the City season to go.
Yeah.
Which
Also,
kind of is
Lindsay-
shocking that they already filmed the reunion, right?
It might be a
Or did they-
shorter season. I don't know how long in the city is, but
Well, Rhode Island reunion is only 2 parts. I was shocked to see it was only a 2-parter.
I am shocked that it is 2 parts.
So
I thought it
I
was
imagine
gonna
that
be
In the
one.
City will be also 2 parts. If it being a first season, maybe they
Yeah.
just, maybe it's because there's not as much history to go off of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
if Lindsay's bringing this energy, I want to watch. I'm here
Me
for
too.
it. Lindsay
Me
also,
too.
by the way, said, meanwhile, West is still out with other girls and still talking to his other girlfriends like a true fuckboy.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's true, but she's alleging that he's not faithful to Amanda anyway.
You know what I really want to see on Love Island, and we're about to bring Kaylor on the show, but we had Sierra literally on the show. Well, we have Kata, a big fan of Summer House.
Mm.
Kata, she's watching Summer House.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to see a West Wilson reference. Like, I want to see Wes Wilson become the verb that is like how these guys in modern dating move. I wanted to see like Kata be like who is a fan of Summer House, she kind of implied that she's been like locked and loaded and watching the whole Summer House drama unfold. If I'm someone like if I'm in the villa who's been obsessively watching Summer House and breaking this all down, and then like watched a guy like Sincere move the way Sincere's moving, which is like, again, that kind of like, I'm a good guy and I'm sweet and I don't mean any harm and I'm willing to talk through any problem with you, but not actually look at his own actions and how it's affecting the feelings of other people. Like, it would be great to see, a little cross marketing between like the Peacock franchises and like make Wes Wilson a verb.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to bring him in. I'd be like, this is Sierra's safe space.
No, not bring him in.
Not bring him in, but I'm like, I wouldn't want to bring the energy of him in. I would be like, he's not a mention. We have other people in the world.
Truly.
Mm.
Leave him out of here.
Because then she's going to have to talk about it on After Sun and be like, oh, when you referenced. And it's like,
I
well,
think Sierra is more than capable. I think she's
She
moved
is,
on.
but-
I think she's living her best life.
she is, yes. But I wouldn't want to give her. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with Justin.
She looked so good in that brown dress.
Her and Teffy.
Yeah, hot.
Honestly, they were like, I think they are perfect for After Sun.
Yeah,
both
they're
of
cute
them. Like
together.
the way, yeah,
It makes more sense the way it's set up this year too.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm a fan.
Wait, breaking news. TMZ just reported West was not picked up for the next season of the Bravo show, will not return when cameras start rolling in July.
I'm honestly shocked.
I'm not. Honestly, like I didn't see it. I didn't see just like he didn't see how Lindsay Hubbard was going to be a mom and on Summer House, I did not see how he was going to make it back.
But also, like, what would be the purpose of him coming back?
Like, yeah, like what is you don't have a relationship with these people. You have lied to all of their face. Like who wants to party with
true.
you? Who
Yeah.
wants
Yeah,
to like
that
sit at a
part's
table?
true.
Like it's such an intimate show where these people are living together, eating meals, like they're doing everything together. And it's like
It would
who
almost
wants
be
to be
impossible.
around
Like,
them?
as much as we've been obsessed with this, we all just probably want to move on from this.
That's what I was
Sierra
thinking.
Yeah.
certainly wants to move on from this. And I guess if Wes showed back up, it would almost be.
It would be,
It's like it
The
would be
whole
like
thing.
if someone like is under some scandal
yeah.
and they reached out to us to be like, hey, can they come be a guest in the show? But they don't want to talk about the thing
Mm-hmm.
that like everyone's talking about. And you're like, well, I can't have them on and pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right.
So like it would almost, to move on from it, like you would almost have to like,
They'd have to relive it and have to talk about
not,
it on
and it would
another
just be weird.
season.
And it could ruin the summer. I feel like, yeah, we need a little drama to keep the show going.
Mhm.
Of course, like we need some relationship dynamics and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you don't like start a show to revolve around drama. Drama just happens when you're having a
Mhm.
good time.
now,
So-
does this mean, is there do you think his Bravo days are done? Or do you think this is step one of removing him from Summer House? Because he makes sense on In the City.
It says the door isn't completely closed and it's possible he could pop up for a cameo.
I could see that.
I mean, yeah, I can definitely see.
I mean, if he's dating Amanda,
Yeah.
if he's with Amanda, he's
Mm.
got to be a part of In the City.
Right.
Do
But is
you think-
Amanda, because Amanda's not on Summer House moving forward, maybe, right?
Seems unclear.
I don't think that,
We don't know that.
but we
yet. I'm
do
just
know that
asking.
she's on In the City.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, it makes sense to have her boyfriend be a part of her storyline.
I
Her
could see
boyfriend.
Amanda not wanting to do another season as well. Like after going through something like this, I don't think people understand how heavy this really is. Like I understand people think she deserves like this punishment. And like, I think to an extent, yeah, you have to like, kind of pay for the things that you've taken on. But I'm also like, I don't know that I would want to subject myself to this, especially if she were still dating Wes. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I could see her being like, I need a season off, or I can't do this right now. It's like, so, I mean, look at her. She's like so
And
unwell.
also, like, do we see West even wanting to be a part of In the City?
I
Like,
don't
wanting
know.
to be a part of this anymore? It's like he's got his podcast.
Mhm.
But I think he enjoys being a celebrity.
100%.
I think he enjoys being on TV.
Yeah.
And I think
I
he
think he'll
enjoys
start-
all the things that this being on Summer
Yeah.
House has done for him.
I think he'll start recapping Summer House on his podcast.
LMAO.
I think some people care more about the lifestyle, the money, the illusion of what being a reality TV star is than they actually care about their well-being or their relationships or their life. So
Mhm.
like I sit here and say I don't know that they'll do it, but then I'm like, actually, I think a lot of reality TV people place more value on that.
And the lasting impression we'll have of West is this scandal. And you know that, like, West doesn't see himself as this guy that we all see, right? And then, whether you're a West or you're someone like me who has like felt like they got a bad edit, like the ego in you wants the second chance to come back on and redeem yourself and show, even if you made a mistake, that you're sorry or you've learned. And like that part of not being able to redeem himself. I don't think this is a West choice, I guess is all I'm saying. And I
No.
think if he ever got an
No.
opportunity to come back on,
He would.
he would, yeah. Because what's that look like?
And I also kind of think that the only way to come out on the other side and actually like have a redeeming story is to persevere. Like I know right now it's like none of us want to hear from them, but at the end of the day, like look how many housewives have been like the biggest villains and then have come out and been like some of our favorite people. And just in general, like you're a villain one season and you're a hero the next or vice versa. I think they're going to need some time to recover, but like that takes digging in and like letting people get to know you.
It takes saying a couple words and not being silent.
Yeah, that's the other thing is
that
he's
part.
been silent.
I know, yeah. I could see Amanda coming back to Summer House. Like, I think that's going to happen.
I don't know. I
Wes.
feel like just within the city, I think even Kyle, it's just like, it's kind of like.
I guess that's like, people think that's the point of In the City, right?
To
The
like
transition.
migrate over into the
Transition,
city, and then they had a great new cast of people on Summer House, and they grow from there. You know, with Sierra being the center of Summer House.
I mean, Sierra, Jessi,
Mia.
Carl, Mia, KJ,
Dara, Miha, maybe.
Like Kyle can pop in and catch
Mia,
up with his
maybe.
buddy
Could you
Carl, but
imagine?
like
Yeah.
it does seem, I don't know, maybe Kyle DJing and dating is I'm watching that.
Yeah.
I could watch that on In the City, though. Yeah, I get that.
Sure, but it still plays well on Summer House too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right, well, I think Kaylor Martin's here, so let's bring her on and let's dive deep into all things Love Island. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Well, during this summer, people are either thriving or surviving. For some people, it's travel, plans, kids out of school, and nonstop activity. For others, it can feel overwhelming, like you're just trying to keep up. Well, whatever the season is and whatever is going on in your life, chances are there's something that's maybe wearing you down or taking a lot of mental energy that you don't have time to waste. And it's always great when that's going on in your life to just talk it out with a mental health professional. And that's what BetterHelp is doing like never before. We talk about how beneficial therapy can be. And sometimes it's just it's a challenge to start therapy. It can be intimidating and you don't really know how to find a therapist. Well, BetterHelp, with them working with over 30,000 licensed therapists, have served over 6 million people globally. And with them working with so many therapists, it helps ensure that you're going to find a therapist that's right for you. You can even switch therapists for free as many times as you need to until you land on a therapist that you feel really gets you. It's really easy to get started. You just go to BetterHelp.com, answer a few questions about the type of therapy you're looking for, and they will assign a therapist that they think is right for you in a matter of minutes. You could be talking to a therapist by tomorrow if you really wanted to with BetterHelp. You don't have to say yes to everything this summer. Find support in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at BetterHelp.com/VIALL. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/VIALL.
Summer always makes me pay more mind to what I reach for in my closet. You want comfy, lightweight, easy to throw on pieces that feel put together. Quince focuses on high quality essentials made from materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk. Their linen pants, dresses, shirts, shorts are perfect for this time of year. They have styles starting at just $32, and they are an absolute go-to for me. Honestly, year-round, just because I am obsessed with linen, and their pieces are so versatile. Everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They work directly with ethical factories and cut out the middlemen, so you're paying for quality instead of brand markup. They don't just have clothes, they also have amazing home pieces, baby clothes. I mean, I love my duvets from them. I love my curtains from them. Everything that Quince is doing is just top tier.
They're also doing kitchen essentials, and as the cook in our family, Natalie got me some great cutlery from Quince that I absolutely love. They have so many different items for all you cookers out there. All the essentials that you could probably need. Amazing quality. And again, you always know that they're sourcing from ethical manufacturers.
So elevate your summer wardrobe. Go to quince.com/VIALL for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/VIALL for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/VIALL.
Building your business starts with having the right people in your corner, but hiring help shouldn't be a headache or a drain on your budget. Upwork makes it easy to hire specialized freelancers quickly. They have expertise you need without weeks of recruiting or committing to a full-time hire. If you are a business owner, you know how challenging it can be to hire the right people at the right time. And Upwork is such a help when it comes to that department. Scaling a business is a lot easier when you have the right help. And that's why so many growing teams use Upwork. It's one of the top platforms where you can find, hire, and pay expert freelancers across over 125 categories. Whether you need help with one-off projects or ongoing support, Upwork has you covered. You can browse profiles, review past work, and even get help scoping the role. So hiring feels fast and straightforward instead of overwhelming. And with Business Plus, Upwork can match you with top freelance talent in under 6 hours using AI-powered shortlisting. They also handle contracts and payments all in one place. They truly make the hiring process so much easier and seamless than it usually is. It's free to sign up and easy to get started, so what are you waiting for? If you are looking for your next great hire, use Upwork. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com. Kaylor, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, guys. Nice to see you all today. It's been a while.
We're so excited.
It's been forever.
It's been a minute. So it's so great to catch up with you. Obviously, you have so much going on. We have Love Island Season 8 underway. Well, first of all, how have you been? Like, how's life? Where are you calling us from?
I'm in New York City. I live in New York now. I love it. I don't know if you can see my room, but I have like the craziest New York City apartment, like disco ball hanging
Love it.
above
Cute,
my
as
bed.
you should.
But life's been amazing. Like just navigating, still like being an influencer, dealing with like being online. It's been awesome. And yeah, just keep going at it.
I'm always curious. Is like, we have Susie here who was also on the Bachelor franchise with me, and you're 2 years removed. What has it been like? Do you have like with each season, like watching these people in the villa, like how much FOMO do you experience, or if any at all? Is it a little traumatizing? Is it a little fun? Like, what is it like to bring yourself back into such a life-changing experience that you had?
No, it's awesome. It's awesome seeing, new Love Islanders go into the villa to find love, and I love watching. Watching it is so fun, and I think that, going into the villa, like these Islanders, yes, they're there to find love, but they're going to make friendships that they'll have forever. PPG will be in my wedding someday, like Rob, Kendall, I'm really close with them. So, I mean, you go in to find love, but if you don't find love, like people will always talk about, like, it's not Friendship Island. Well, really it is, because at the end of the day, like, you win. If you don't win a relationship, you win amazing friends. So, yeah, it's awesome to see, and I love keeping up with every season.
Oh, that's sweet.
That is sweet.
Well, before we dive into all things going on in Love Island Season 8, you are you're secretly like a car girly. I didn't realize
She's
that.
Sydney Sweeney.
So you grew up into cars.
Yeah, so I grew up, my stepdad, who like basically raised me my entire life, like my dad basically, he always worked as a car salesman growing up in PA, and he is now a GM at a great dealership in Pennsylvania. So we started like this series on TikTok. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them, but it's basically I'll go into the dealership and I'll like trade places with him for a day. So like he'll try to like be an influencer and I'll like try to like work his job.
Cute.
Like, what work do you have today? I'm like, oh, being an influencer is so hard. I got a blowout, my nails done, and a spray tan. And it's so funny because he'll try to use the products, and then I'll try to like make the salesman there sell cars. So we had this series going on TikTok, and Turtle Wax hit me up for a collab with them for their 3 products that I've known and my dad has used all my life. So it was just truly like for full circle, like having a product that like my dad loves, and 2, being able to finally do a campaign with like my dad's. It's been awesome.
That's so sweet. Also, do I need turtle wax? Like, how do I use it? I'm not a car girly, so what do I do with it if I go buy it?
So there's 3 different products. My favorite, there's like the all-in-one, like they're these little wipes, and you can keep them in your glove box, and you can wipe like the inside of your car, like the headlights, or if someone accidentally dings your car like in the parking lot, you can just buff it out with that. Those are my favorite because I'm always on the go, and honestly, like I'll admit it, like sometimes my car's a mess, or like food, whatnot. Like I still drive the same car I've always had my entire life, like still repping the 2018 Honda Civic.
Nice.
So it's all banged up, and like, yeah, probably still has fries under the seat from like 2018. They also have like a one and done detailer. So it's like a spray that you can use for the outside and inside of your car, which is great. And then they have like a hybrid solution for inside. We could send you some of those products. So you can get your hands on them.
Yeah, it's giving like hot girl.
I always got bitched at. Like if I came home with like a dirty car, like my dad would definitely bitch at me. Or if I brought like a guy came to pick me up and his car was filthy inside, like it's a no-go. Like that's your first impression and like he's not getting a second date.
Turtle Wax has a survey that said 73% of singles think the way someone takes care of their car reflects on how they take care of themselves. Would you agree or disagree, Kaylor?
I would agree because, I mean, if you take care of your car, like if your car is a mess, what's your room look like? Like, let's be real. And I think a lot of people, like before like a first date, will like make sure their car is cleaned when they are picking up like their significant other or like their date that they're going out on, because like it's a bad first impression. Like you have a like spoiled milkshake on the ground, like no thanks.
Have you ever, I've done the thing where you like are about to go on a date and your car's a mess and you just take everything and throw it in your trunk. That last second cleanup, you know, you throw everything in the closet.
Or stopping at like the nearest gas station to empty it all out in like their trash can, like the poor gas station people. Like,
well, Kaylor, what are your thoughts on the early parts of season 8 of Love Island? Who are some of your favorites, and who are some of the people who are giving you kind of the red flags?
Sincere, like let's be honest. Like let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
Sincere's not that sincere. I honestly love Melanie. I see a lot of myself in her. It's still so early on, but I could see like her and Corbin becoming like something like amazing. Like honestly, I know that like they just got put together, and I think that Corbin like is still a little confused about Kenzie, but I think that they could be something like amazing. And I've loved watching this season because it feels like everyone's being very organic, and I haven't seen anyone like really crash out. Like we saw that Melanie like give me 10, give me 10, give me 10. Loved it. Honestly, like everyone at the beginning was like shitting on Melanie, but I'm like, Melanie is giving us television, people. So come on now.
She really is.
I've loved that. I love that she's crashing out on TV. That means she's authentic and she's not scared to be real. I think also after season 6, like if I knew I was going into like season 8 after season 7 being so big and season 6 being so big, I would be freaking scared on being real or speaking my mind.
Yeah.
So I give props to those Islanders, because if I was on season 7 or season 8, like I would be definitely worried about like who's watching me, what the public's gonna think of me, because like now Love Island is just like this huge franchise.
What advice would you give to the current members, filming season 8 in terms of like, how to move or how to navigate all the online criticism? Because like, kind of like you implied, you guys, for a lot of people, season 6 was like the first season. That was the season that really popped. That's when Love Island USA became the phenomenon that it is. And I think obviously previous seasons, like you kind of suggested, didn't have like the same fan reactions and intensity. And we all know that like, obviously as great as this experience was for all of you, and it's opened up so many doors, there's probably been a lot of moments for you of like the highs and lows of like having to navigate, fan reactions and fan criticism. How have you been able to like continue to move forward and kind of protect your mental health while still having a relationship with your audience?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely really difficult, and I still do it. Like, I still, like, my boyfriend will always say, like, I'll wake up in the morning, I'll go to, like, my requests, like, DMs, and look, like, it's so toxic. I should not be doing that. But I guess I'm just so used to it, and, like, I probably shouldn't be the one giving advice here, because I still see myself, like, doing, like, being toxic and, like, looking at those comments, but I mean, I want to know what people think, and then I say that until, like, I really see what people think. And it's difficult, but I think as long as you stay true to yourself, and you'll be good to go. And yes, everyone has something to say now. Like, everyone had something to say about me crying or taking Aaron back or things like that, but, like, they'll focus on something else in a week or two. So, like, it will be okay, and people will move on. And, I mean, I always say, whatever your friends and family at home, like, think of you and, like, know you as, you represent yourself in that way, like, that's all you need to worry about.
Yeah. Well said.
I mean, people hiding behind their phone screens, like, it just... And I think sometimes, especially the Love Island universe, like, some of the fans can be really toxic. They think that they know you, but, like, there's way more to, like, Melanie or Kenzie than just, like, what they're seeing on Love Island. So I think that's tricky too.
This season, they announced that they're kind of like freezing everyone's Instagram accounts. What is your opinion on that? Because obviously that wasn't the case for you.
It probably helps like the negative comments and things like that. But from like a creator standpoint, I'm thinking of these people who are on the like on the show and like having a career outside of it. I'm like, it would probably be more helpful for their family to post them and keep them in the algorithm and things like that. So, I mean, regardless, like it's definitely going to help like the hate comments and the bullies and things like that. But someone will go on their own page and bully them by a TikTok video. So, like, what's like, you know, is it really doing anything?
Yeah.
I'll be curious if they do get as big a following. I kind of think it's going to hinder them. And I know that the show is way fun and like so many great opportunities come, but a lot of that comes from getting this big following that I'm like, it's a blessing, but it's also such a sacrifice to go on and like risk it all like that and put yourself out there that I'm like, if people aren't going to get massive followings, I don't know that it's like worth it for people to go on and, you know.
1000%. I think that if my friends weren't posting for me while I was in there, I don't know if I would have the following that I do now.
Mm-hmm.
I could, but I have no idea. Like, I would film TikTok drafts in Fiji whenever we were like on lockdown, and it would be like different kind of songs, and my friend would like post it like regarding like the episode. Like if Kaylor got fucked over, I'm posting like this TikTok of her being like a bad bitch. Like, you know, it just like would fluctuate. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested to see that. But I mean, I think someone Bia just got kicked off, and she's like already growing like crazy. So I think that the Love Island fan base, regardless, is so big, and they'll find you, and they want to keep up with you after the villa too. So we'll see.
You mentioned obviously Sincere is not very sincere this season, and I'm curious, like watching him when we were having a conversation before you came on about like just how it seems like so many men in Love Island are, you know, it's like they have such a hard time just telling the truth. Like, for example, like you see Sincere, and it seems like so weird, and it's like I'm curious, you know, obviously your relationship with Aaron, like everyone had so many thoughts and opinions of. And obviously, we don't know what it's like to be in your guys' shoes when you're filming. But why, like, you had a front row seat to how Aaron moved.
Right.
Now that like that has passed, and I'm sure you guys have had your conversations, and it seems like, you know, despite all his faults, that deep down, like Aaron is a sweet, good guy. But like, it seems like now in dating, it's like guys are more like, it's like they want to sound nice and say the nice thing, even though it's not the honest thing. And then you have like Kenzie, for example, who like demonstrates how easy telling the truth is, where she's talking to Corbin, she made out with Caleb, and then she go back to talk to Corbin, and she's like, just so you know, we kissed. She's like so upfront about it, so transparent about it.
Did she tell Melanie yet that she's kissed Corbin?
Yeah, she told Melanie.
Oh, she did? Okay. Yeah, I think that like ultimately another thing is like when you're in the villa, like for me, I can say like, it's not like you go out on a date in real life and let's say your man or someone that you're seeing, not dating, you're not exclusive yet, is seeing another person and that rubs you the wrong way. Okay, cool. You go and you see other people. You go and get drunk with your friends. You can't escape them in the villa. They're still there. So they're still there. They have more time to convince you that they like you. They have more time to manipulate you. And they have more time to make you jealous. So I think all of that like kind of goes with what you asked me. Like it is way tougher being in that villa than it is dating in the real world. And I think ultimately, at least I can speak from my experience. Like I knew Aaron. Like Aaron was a great guy. Like he was. That's why I liked him so much. But he just didn't own it.
Yeah.
Like he just didn't own it. And I think that has to do with like a lot of like, you know, some people like just people please and I people please and I do the same thing. We're all human. We all make mistakes. So I don't think like a decision like what Aaron did or what Sincere is doing like exonerates who he is as a human being. But I mean, we all fuck up and like they're just on national television. So everyone's picking apart every little move they're doing.
Why do you think the guys in Love Island seem to have such a harder time with the like we're in a couple but we're not committed, and they seem to like just really struggle with how to move in that regard, where the women seem to be more upfront about how they're moving. Why do you think that is?
You know what? I have no idea. I wish I could tell you, Nick. I think that a lot of it could also do with like the chats that are being set up. Like this is a TV show.
Sure.
So like there is things that are involved outside of what we're seeing. So a lot of that could be due to like production and things like that. But at the end of the day, I also will always say like anyone that wants to blame production or say anything, and I'm sure you guys can agree because you've experienced reality television, like at the end of the day, like you make your own decisions.
Yeah.
Like a producer can tell you to do something, but you, like I've said multiple times, like, sorry, but like Kaylor in her heart, like in the RHOA would never do that. So I'm not going to do that. I don't feel comfortable. And also if you get a bad edit, like you give them ammo to give you that edit. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's tricky. I don't know if I can answer that because I don't even know the answer to it.
Speaking of like a producer involvement, would you say it's more accurate that like when you say a producer tells you to do something, is it more accurate to say that they might encourage you or suggest something? But like you said, you ultimately always have the option.
1000%. I mean, like, they're not holding a gun to your head and saying, like, go off to Casa and hook up with other girls. Like, come on now. They, like, you make your own decisions. Sure, they'll set up chats and, like, who's talking to who and things like that. But, like, I don't even think, like, on a liability standpoint, since there's a cash involved at the end, that they can make those, like, you know, they can't, like, tell so-and-so to, like, dump that person or whatnot. Like it's an entire like legal thing as well.
Yeah,
so.
And kind of to your point, like they're not telling Sincere not to be upfront with Melanie about when and how many times he kissed Soul. Like that's how he responds is entirely up to him.
Exactly. Now if Sincere may go to the producer and is like, see, I don't need to tell her, then the producers may be like, yeah, you don't. Like they may like, you know, but like they're not there to be your life coach. Yeah. Like, you know.
They will definitely allow you to make bad decisions if that's the decisions, and they won't stop you from being like, you sure you want to do that?
Right.
And that's kind of how they produce. Like, you know, we want to know what people ultimately are willing or wanting to do. And if they're so easy to, if it's so easy for them to convince them to do the wrong thing, can you really blame a producer for making a suggestion that, like, to your point, Kaylor, you were like,
doing
yo,
their job.
I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt, like that conversation between Bryce and him pulling Kata, I would guess, and let me know if you would disagree, Kaylor, that was maybe a suggestion from a producer. Like, hey, you know, he probably said, they probably said, who's your number two? And he's probably like, Kata. And they're like, well, why don't you go talk to her? Like, should you really, like, do you really want to be this closed off this early? Blah, blah, blah. You know, like Zach will understand. Bryce could have been like, yo, no, that's my boy. He has a good thing. I got a good thing with Trinity. Yes. I don't want to fuck that up. No one's stopping Bryce from doing that. But if it's that easy to convince Bryce to be like, you know what? You have a good point. I do deserve to explore myself. Like that is a Bryce decision, and you can't blame producers for that.
Nick, that was perfectly said. Yes. Yes, completely agree with you.
Speaking of, were you just as shocked as we were? Like, I honestly forgot. Like, for forgetting all that, I couldn't believe that Kata was the one that Bryce went for. Because after episode 2, when he he rolled over for a kiss when Zach and Kata were making out, and she was like, you know what, not tonight. I would have been like, you're my cousin. Yeah. Like forever. Like forever going forward, I will only ever see you as just a person, a relative. And the fact that Bryce thought there was a there when he's like, oh, well, I just wanted to check in. If I'm Kata, like, did you not remember me like shaming you in a way that most people don't deserve to be shamed? Like what she was, the way she was like so like confused that he asked that question. I don't know. I forgot all about that and was reminded of like that moment when he was like trying to see if there was something there. It was so wild.
Yeah, no, that was definitely wild play on his end. But like you said, it could definitely be stem from like people setting up chats or just like quite literally like just being like, you haven't explored yet. And like, they may even use sometimes the public. Like, do you think the public wants you to explore more? Like, you never know. And when they say the public, like that's like, oh my God, like you want to please the public, obviously. Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of pressure. I remember specifically, I've never said this before, when Aaron asked me to be his girlfriend, it's like, I'm going to say yes. And like the producer was like, are you sure? Like, are you sure you want to say yes? And like, I shouldn't have fucking said yes. Like, I don't know why. Like, I was just in this like love bubble. But they were definitely trying to like convince me to like stand my ground and be like, say hell no. Like, you just came back from Costa. Like, what are you doing, girl? And I was like, I'm going to stay true to myself and I'm still going to say yes. And I still did. But I definitely should not have. But, the producers are also, I think they're looking at Twitter. They're looking at TikTok. Like, like they're seeing what everyone thinks and probably feeding into that. So
almost in a little way, you like in that moment, you also, you saw the producers almost trying to guide you in a good way, and yet
in a good way.
And that's interesting.
Yes, and I was like, producers aren't my friends. Like, I'm not listening to you guys. Like, it's like looking back at it, I'm like, they were looking out for me.
Did you ever go back and watch your season?
No, I haven't. Which is like, I'm just waiting like for the perfect moment to like do that, and like maybe I'll even like, now I have my podcast, like maybe I'll even do like people
like a rewatch.
Like,
okay.
None of us have. Like, we obviously see like the TikTok clips and things like that, and I had to like I had to watch Casa more for like the reunion and things like that. But no, it's like when you hear yourself like on record and you're like, I hate the sound of my voice. Well, watching yourself is like 10 times worse. It's like even more cringy. And like I don't know. I have my own opinion about like how my season went, so I don't want to see like how it was perceived. That makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
But I think when it comes to a point where it's like shits and gigs, I will watch it and review it.
So I don't know if you can answer this question from the perspective I'm going to ask it, but I'll ask it anyways and see where it goes. But there was a moment, like, I thought it was really interesting, speaking of fans' involvement, right? So, like, we had the fan vote a couple nights ago, right, where the recoupling, and the fan votes kind of went how we expected, in the sense that, like, we were seeing a connection between Caleb and Kenzie, and, like, that's the way the fans went. We saw, like, Gabe and Jen have a thing, and that's where the fans went. Obviously, Sincere and Soul, yada, yada, so on and so forth, right? And I think obviously fans are voting for the connections we see flourishing that like the Islanders aren't leaning into. And I thought it was really interesting after the recoupling, because like I really just thought there wasn't much there between Kenzie and Corbin, and I thought she seemed to be really interested in Caleb. And then after the recoupling, all of a sudden we started seeing scenes of Corbin and Kenzie. I'm like, oh shit, like no, they like each other. Like there's something there, but the show didn't show us that connection until after the recoupling. And I just thought it was interesting because clearly, again, like we have to acknowledge that we should be thankful for producers, because for all the like, oh, are they evil? Like they're making a TV show that we love, and like people do get nervous, and they're afraid of fans, and they're afraid of making mistakes, and they need a little bit of a nudge. Mm-hmm. But it is interesting to see the show allow us to think that maybe there wasn't much of a connection with Kenzie and Corbin until after the fan vote and the recoupling, and then all of a sudden they're like showing us that Kenzie's like really into Corbin in a way that like we never got to see. And I'm just curious, like what do you think of that as someone who's like been on the island, of like how the show can kind of guide the audience to vote a certain way over another way?
I'm going to answer this honestly, but I also like don't know for a fact. So I don't want anyone to like believe this and run with this, or like Kaylor saying this or that.
Kaylor fan theory. That's all this is.
I mean, the editors know exactly what they're doing. That's all I have to say.
I feel like they have so much chemistry, and the way, I mean, like even the clips for the next episode of her, they just like can't keep their hands off of each other. And it is so interesting because we just truly never even saw that side.
They almost made it seem like Kenzie only cared that Melanie and Corbin had a conversation out of like almost jealousy. It almost seemed like they made it. It almost made it seem like Kenzie only cared until Corbin pulled Melanie. But now after seeing this connection of Corbin and Melanie, of Kenzie after the recoupling, it's like, oh no, she's like, she really likes this guy, and she's really struggling with like, she obviously wants to explore Caleb. She recognizes it's still new. And it's like you see it in a totally different lens now after the recoupling. It's just fascinating.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's also like very likely that she likes both of them and had like a strong connection with both of them before, I mean, they put Caleb and Kenzie together. There's also like very high chance that like they all have a strong connection, and Kenzie's just navigating. But I mean, the bombshell had a couple up with someone, and it was her.
What do you think of Soul, and specifically her being a bombshell and being someone that clearly like at least some of the guys are very into. And it seems like the women of the OG women weren't quite as warm to Soul. Like, how does that happen? And like,
Right.
So if you're part of the original cast, like you were, what does that feel like to have the bombshells come in that a lot of the, other people are into? And are there behind the scenes conversations happening with cast about like, you know what, maybe we haven't been as warm to her as possible? Is that more
100%.
organic, or like, what does that look like behind the scenes?
There was a time in our season where like the Costa girls came back and they did not feel welcomed in the villa at all, where like the producers were like, you guys need to like welcome them into the villa more. We're like, they're with our man. Like, what do you want us to do? Like, you want us to give them flowers? Like, it's a tough situation to be in because one, you have the bombshells or Costa girls that are there to steal your man. They're also there to find love. But then it makes it so awkward because they could be stealing your man. So it's like, it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal that like any of the OGs are probably like, oh, I don't like this bombshell, or like, let's be mean to her. But it's like just natural. Like in the real world, if your man was dating two different girls and like picked one, like you're not probably going to become best friends with her. Like, come on, you're just not. You're in the villa, you're living together, you have to be friendly. But at the end of the day, like, do you got like, I get it. Like, it sucks. Like,
even if you like go out with your friends and you're with your boyfriend and he's like, oh, that girl over there, like we like kind of like we made out once, or like you're immediately like, fuck this bitch.
Yeah.
I hate her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it's nothing personal, but it's just like, it's awkward. Like you're put in a weird position. Like when I think like for my season, like Erin was with Daniela and then Rob brought her back. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is like, and Daniela's a lovely person. Like she's amazing, but it's tough. Like it's, like when you go to confide in someone, like I'm not going to go confide in the girl that like my guy was just like making out with. Like,
what are your thoughts on KC? I mean, opening up the season, he seemed like, a guy who seemed like really, secure with himself. The conversation he had with Anaya seemed like very meaningful and personal. And like we talked about last week, made her feel seen in a way that like clearly other men she's dated hadn't made her feel. And we love to see that, but like we see that a lot with guys where they're a little reckless. Even when they're saying something so nice, they don't recognize the impact their words will have on the person they're talking to. And ever since we've seen that conversation with KC and Anaya's been incredibly intentional, like with how she's moving. She didn't make out with anyone in the challenge. And then you have Soul come in and he's referenced that like she looks like his ex and things like that. And then the more I'm seeing of KC, the more I'm like, again, I'm sure he's a swell guy overall. The more we see of KC, to me, he seems to be moving more and more like the rest of the guys, which is like in the heat of the moment, he's not just direct. Like I that last night's episode where he's talking to Soul. First of all, he had two conversations with Soul. So like he had that one chat where he was like, you would have been my number two. And Soul was like, yeah, but you're, she kind of said it like, but you're off limits.
Yeah.
Kind of like
You're committed, right?
You're committed. Like almost like maybe it was a check-in from Soul, maybe it wasn't. But then whatever happened in that conversation was enough for KC. Again, maybe producer suggested or not, but like, why did you need to even pull her for that second chat? That second chat seemed to have some chemistry. And then Anaya comes in, and the way KC described that conversation to Anaya was not what we watched. He made it seem like, oh, they were just chatting as friends. Like there's no there was nothing there. And I'm like, you're flat out, you're lying. You're lying to her in a way that like we're all watching it. Like how do you read that situation as someone who has been in the villa and like again, those conversations that all these people are having about like the nuance between exploring, being coupled up. Like, do you, or am I being too hard on KC for that conversation, or did you see what I saw?
No, I saw what you saw, and I love Anaya. Like, she's my girl. Like, I've loved her from the jump. She is, like, one of my favorites this season, so, like, I hate that. Like, I hate that. My blood boils for her. But I also do understand, like, the behind the scenes of things, and, like, I felt like in my season, like, I just knew that I did not have a connection with anyone else, and that's fine. Like, Love Island, everyone's like, it's about exploring and things like that. I'm like, yeah, sure it is, but, like, if you find a genuine connection, then you find a genuine connection. Like, you're not, like Love Island, it doesn't say in the rules like you must explore to like be on the show. Like that's not how it is. Like I'm sure like Casa Amore's coming up, like something's gonna twist these couples that are so strong, like it did mine. And you know, you just never know what can happen. I hope that the men start owning it. Like be a man and own your shit. And like I'll say that to the day I die. Like that was one of the things I experienced on the show, and it sucks. Like it really sucks. And then these girls are gonna leave, and they're gonna have to watch it back.
Do you think the men on Love Island, whether it's your season or the seasons after we watch, use the "it's about exploring" as kind of like a get out of jail free card? It's just like
1,000%. 1,000%.
Because to your point, like we all know, right? We all know what it's like to date in the real world. We know who we like. You can walk into a bar and see 30 people, and you can eliminate 28 of them off the jump, right? And these people have been with each other for a whole week. I would want to know from KC, why do you need to explore this with Soul? And what are you not going to, like you should know at this point whether she's someone that you really want to like see things through or not. And the way it just seems like the guys are always using like you said, like as if they have to, they need to. Like why can't they why isn't their own inner monologue telling themselves, I got something really good here. Maybe I don't know if I'm going to marry Anaya, but I know there's enough there that it would be reckless for me to explore with anyone else.
It's like any modern dating.
1,000%.
Like there's always another option. It's like the apps. It's like you can just swipe and find somebody else.
That's a great analogy.
It plays like right into everything that you experience. That's why I think Love Island is so fascinating. It plays into all the things that happen in the real world, but we're watching it on a screen and through this like tropical lens. But it's like, yeah, there's always another option. There's always another bombshell, of course. But it's like, why? Yeah, if you've got something good, why are you going to just like explore connections or test? The worst one is test my connection. Why do you need to test it? What are we testing?
Yeah.
But I also like, if you feel like you need to test it, then it may not be that strong.
Right.
Yeah.
The guys will sound like, I need to fuck someone else to know that I love you.
Exactly. Oh my God, exactly. It's so real.
I was told, so I'm having like PTSD. Like I remember being told so many times, like, Kaylor, like that's what Love Island's about. Like we're here to like test and try. And I'm like, is that like in the rules when you sign up for Love Island is to like do that? No. But like, and if you want to do that, fine, do it, but do it respectfully.
Yes.
Like move respectfully. If you want to explore and you want to do that, you can. This Love Island, it's your experience and I'm going to have my experience. But if your experience is manipulating, not saying that anyone on this cast is doing that yet, but if you like, for myself, I could say like if their experience is like to manipulate and like not own it, then you can have that experience, but I don't want a part of that experience.
I did see an interesting tweet from Kia A. Brienne. She said Casey should be the main person exploring because no one was behind his door on the first episode. He doesn't owe anyone anything. What do you think?
Do you think that's valid because of how it started, or do you feel like
that would have been valid the first episode?
Yeah,
right?
Or the first two, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know if that's still valid. I think like I said, like one day in that villa literally feels like a week. So let's say they filmed 11. They have 11 episodes. So they've probably been there for about 15 days. So like these people think that they know, like, and you do, like you get to know these people. So like if you like, I'm just thinking about myself, like whenever I was in that villa and like on day like episode 11, I felt like completely connected to Aaron. I felt like I knew him inside and out. And if he would have betrayed me then I would be hurt. I would be really hurt.
We heard Sincere say to this cast that he was upset that he was matched with Soul and that he desperately wanted to be like coupled up with Melanie. I think we all saw that as a lie. Is there any part of you that's been a part of Love Island and like, maybe it's the editors editing? I just thought that was complete bullshit because when he's with Soul, he is staring into her eyes.
Obsessed.
He's deeply obsessed. And like, and maybe it's a better match for him. Maybe like I honestly, like I love Melanie. She seems great. She seems like you said, like you're seeing the whole arc of her. She is clearly someone who gives a shit. She tries. She can get feedback. She can take accountability. Maybe she doesn't like change herself overnight, but she at least is willing to hear that feedback. But maybe Sincere is just more of a low-key guy. But Sincere does the thing that's very frustrating that you see with a lot of like relationships where he acts like he's not the toxic one because he always says he doesn't love the drama. And then Melanie's like, let me go. Like, just let me go. If you're not into me, that's totally fine. But then he's doing the thing, like, no, I want to like see where I want to keep trying.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what part of your relationship with Melanie do you actually like? Which is like, it's okay. You don't have to be into her, but he's like keeping her stuck and giving her this false sense of hope that's like not there. And like,
he has his cake, he's eating it too.
yeah, he's driving her nuts. He's the one driving her crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And I think that like ultimately, like I think that Melanie is like understands like we keep saying, like everyone needs to explore. I think Melanie understands that. And I think that like if he was just like open and honest, like, hey, I kissed her, and then like also like what about Soul? Like it's not like he's even telling Soul that he's saying this.
So
like
true.
Everyone's talking about like him not saying to Melanie, but like he's not saying it to Soul either. So I know for a fact this season they will have a movie night. I know it for a fact. I mean, I just feel like they will. And from watching the season, like if they had a movie night and they pull that out, and like that's going to be great to watch.
I can see Soul like Soul seems, I don't know, she just seems very self-aware. I don't know. Maybe that's just an assumption.
She does. She's very mature.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think she really likes Sincere, but I think she's now starting to hear, as she gets closer with the women and the other women let her in, we saw that moment with Melanie like giving her a hug. She'll start hearing some of the feedback that the women have, and I think she will pull away from Sincere. And I think that will be the moment where they send Sincere to Casa, and they'll bring in a new bombshell. And I feel like Sincere is like moving in a lot of ways like Aaron did. I feel like we're like, he's a nice guy. He means well. Like he's friends with everyone, but in that effort to please everyone, he's coming across as incredibly shady and selfish.
Yeah.
And whether it's right or wrong, I think he is allowing himself to be produced in a way where he's going to feel like he got manipulated by producers without actually just acknowledging.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Without just being like, well,
100%.
I made that choice. Like, I didn't have to do this. I didn't have to do that. They kept suggesting it, and I wanted to explore.
And they're like, my experience is to explore. And like Liv said this perfectly on movie night. I think she said this to Aaron. He was like, this is my experience, and I'm here to explore. And Liv's like, that's your experience, but you don't have to ruin someone else's experience by moving disrespectfully and not being honest. Like, you can have your experience, babe, but like respect other people's while you're enjoying
I think it was Bryce,
or while you're moving the way you are.
I think it was Bryce who pointed out to Sincere that you're affecting other people's feelings. And that's the part that doesn't seem to land with Sincere, that make your choices, this is your experience, whatever, but like it is affecting how people feel, and you're doing that.
You just have to be honest. It's like,
I just remember, like, I pray for like both Soul and Melanie, because I remember like the anxiety that you have. Like, one, like for me, like you have anxiety, like, what did I not do well? You're start comparing yourself, and then you also have the anxiety, like, it's embarrassing. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, you're on national television. It's like, it was embarrassing for me. Like, they shouldn't be embarrassed, and I shouldn't have been embarrassed. But like in that moment, I was, and that's why I was so hurt. I felt so stupid.
Someone said Sincere's parents named him on opposite day.
It's crazy because he came off as so sincere. Like,
truly,
at the beginning, I was like, wait, he seems so sweet, and even the way. At the beginning, when Melanie was a little bit like, I don't know, when she was doing the kiss between the two guys, I was like, I was like, I don't know. But
no, I loved it.
Oh, you loved it. I love that. But I was like, I could see how it would it could hurt your partner's feelings or whatever. But now I'm like, I think unfortunately he hasn't learned his life lessons before
it's like
joining
the thing
Love
that
Island.
young men learn about, like, it's just like, as long as I hold the door open for her, I'm a good guy.
I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
But if I feel something, my feelings are more important than your feelings, and therefore I'm not doing something bad by focusing on my feelings first, because I did open the door for you.
Yeah. So you are a nice guy.
Yeah. I've heard guys be like, "Oh, I was so loyal to her." Like, babe, that's the bare minimum. Like, I'm just like, Like, why? Like, I don't understand. Why is like the bare minimum is almost like, oh, well, I was so nice. Like, you were so nice. You did the bare minimum. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like across the board. Like, I hear men say that all the time. Like, oh, well, like I didn't do that or like this. I'm like, bare minimum, babe. Like, okay.
What did you think of the conversation between Zach and Kata? He's catching a lot of heat for it.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't remember, they were lying in bed, and it seemed like Kata wanted to maybe fool around a little bit. And Zach was like, yo, can I ask you a tough question? And basically said like, well, if we do something physical and another bombshell comes in and we explore, I don't want to. It kind of came across as like he wanted to keep his options open.
It did.
Hear me out, Kaylor. I'm curious what you think. I honestly think he deserves a little bit of credit for that. Because on one end, if we're going to criticize the Sinceres for just not being honest and trying to play both sides and be friends with everyone, sometimes you have to say the thing that's uncomfortable right away that might upset your partner, Kata, who like probably in that moment doesn't want to hear, hey, I don't want to make out with you because I might be like thinking about the girl I don't even know exists.
Right.
But sometimes you do have to like say the hard thing right away and be honest, even though it is upsetting for your partner. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise now Kata can move based off that information that like, hey, I thought we were like really strong, but like maybe we're not as strong as I thought. And if he wants to maybe keep his options open, now she can keep her like options open, and she can also protect her heart a little bit, as opposed to the Sincere. If that was Sincere, he would have just done the thing. He would have made out with her. He would have gotten physical, and then would have been like, well, I didn't know someone was going to like come in. I couldn't have anticipated. And at least Zach is being honest with himself that he's not fully there. And I just feel like we have to at least give him some credit for saying the thing, even though, yes, did it upset her? Is it hard to hear? Does anyone hear that? No. But sometimes it is difficult to say the thing because so many other guys are doing the thing. Well, I didn't tell you because I didn't want to upset you.
I was going to say, like, as an audience, I feel like we have to live in this moment of like, okay, we are criticizing if you do or if you don't. I lose if I say it, I lose if I don't say it, you know? So I'm like, right now he's saying it. So I'm like, I kind of agree. And I'm curious what Kaylor thinks because she's actually been in the villa. But I'm like, he's kind of doing what we're saying all the other guys should do.
Yeah.
I see where you guys are going with this, but I think that I hate that it was like the reason around like associated with like sex. Like I wish that like it could have just been like not about sex, and I think that's where like that's why people have strong feelings about that, because it was about like sexual things and it wasn't about like whether he wants to explore. Like I'm confused on that conversation because it's like, do you just not want to like have sex or like fool around in the bed because like you may like do that with someone else, or you're worried about how you're going to be perceived or things like that? Or is it like you don't know if another connection's going to walk in? Like, and I hate that like it was prompted in that sense, like in the bed. Like I wish that I could have watched that conversation not be associated with sex or sexual
that makes
things
sense,
at all.
yeah.
But I see where you guys are coming from.
Yeah, it's just those are all often difficult moments, and I totally get what you're saying. It does feel like damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Yeah.
It does seem like Zach is a little bit. Do you think a lot of people are comparing him to Ace from last season, kind of sticking his business in where maybe it doesn't belong, like telling Bryce that he doesn't think Trinity is that into him? Do you think that's him going too far, or do you think that's him being a friend to Bryce?
I didn't like that he did that. I didn't like that he did that at all, because like I think that Trinity is really into Bryce. Like that's how I perceive things. So it's like I don't think anyone should be talking about anyone's relationship. Like just focus on your own. Like he'll figure it out, just like Zach will figure it out.
I think Trinity is being slept on like crazy.
I do too, and I love her. I've loved her ever since she was like, I don't go to the gym. Like I love her. She's like so herself, and I like that a lot.
I think her man hasn't entered the villa yet.
I agree.
Bea said that on After Sun, like it's like Bryce is her number one, and if it's not Bryce, she's going home. So
okay, curious, Kaylor, what do you think? Do you think that's more because like right now there's no one in the villa that is it more like she can't picture someone else because no one else is there, or do you think that plays a role in her in that mindset? Or do you think it's just more Trinity is just like she knows who she is, she knows what she likes and she doesn't like, and maybe she just like her heart wouldn't allow her to even like someone else because she's, she clearly moves slower. She's intentional. She obviously wants a slow burn with Bryce, and maybe she just knows herself that way. Or do you think it's because she just like she doesn't have options right now and she can't see the forest through the trees?
I think she likes Bryce. I don't think she's just like playing it up. I think she likes Bryce, and I mean, hey, there could be someone that comes in and changes her mind. But like, I love her so much that like I'd support her, honestly. So
She's my favorite.
Bryce had the opportunity to try with Kata. So if someone came in and Trinity like someone, I'm like, girl, go have a convo with them. Like Bryce did the same thing.
I feel like we've had so many conversations between Trinity and Bryce where they're like, do you like me? Do you like me like that? I don't know how you feel. So I think they maybe need to have a little bit clearer communication on what they're how
Me
they're
too.
feeling.
Like have a serious convo about where they stand with each other and things like that.
Or we send a hot bombshell in for her.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need like men. More men.
Yes.
More men.
More men.
Would you want them to be a little older?
Yeah, but like not too old, like not too like sophisticated, like, maybe I don't know. How old is Bryce? Is he like 30?
29.
29.
I think he's
Yeah.
29, yeah.
29.
And then you have Caleb, who's 21.
Wow. Range.
Yeah, I mean, I was 22 on the show. Cordell was 21. I think Cordell was 21. So, I mean, we had a big mix and we had like people who were like 29. So, I mean, yeah, I'd like to see like maybe like a 27-year-old, 28.
Kaylor, this has been a ton of fun. I really appreciate you letting us catch up with you and giving us some insight on all things Love Island.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're friends with Iris, right?
Yeah.
How is she doing? I know she had Beyond the Villa. Fans were like kind of... It's so crazy. I didn't really understand fans' reactions to that show. But how's your girl doing? And is she moving forward in a better place these days?
Yeah, I actually was away filming. I was on Destination X, so I was away filming when Beyond the Villa was airing. So I didn't see like any of that. So I have no idea how anyone was perceived. And I know at the beginning, before I left for the show, I saw Hannah like dealing with some stuff. So I made sure to like send her a text that I'm here for them. But I'm here for them if they ever need anything. And at the end of the day, like the public will move on to something else.
Yeah.
They always do. And it's tough. It's tough. This industry is amazing, but it comes with like a lot of pressure and having to deal with like the public's thoughts and hate and DMs and all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Iris and Hannah. They're great. And yeah, I have nothing but great things to say about them. And I'm glad to see them like still posting and continue to pursue social media.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Kaylor, we appreciate you taking the time. It's always great catching up with you. Where can people find you? Enjoy all the great things that you're doing right now?
My TikTok, my Instagram, Kaylor Martin, and then I just came out with a new podcast. You guys can watch it with Rob. It's called Kaylor's Crash Outs.
Love it. Well, Kaylor, thanks for taking the time. We appreciate you. Best of luck going forward in everything you're
Thanks,
doing.
guys.
And we appreciate all the Love Island insights that you had to offer.
Yeah, awesome. I'm going to send you guys some turtle wax
Please
too.
do.
Love it. Thanks, Kaylor.
Bye.
Bye.
We were up at the lake house not too long ago, and we have this cute little like screened in patio that is quite honestly, it's tight. It's a tight little space, and we weren't really sure what furniture would even fit in it or what it should go. Well, Nally went to Wayfair, and she got the perfect little couch and coffee table that fit perfectly in that screen porch, and it absolutely made the whole room exactly what we hoped it would be. But thanks to Wayfair, that whole experience was so much easier than it usually is to find the right furniture, regardless of whatever room that you want in your house. Maybe it's an outdoor screen porch like us, or maybe it's a bedroom that you want to upgrade. Maybe it's your dining room area. Wayfair truly has you covered for any room in your house. Outdoor, indoor, it doesn't really matter. We even got our in-ground trampoline from Wayfair. Again, they make the whole shopping experience wonderful, easy, and pain-free. With over 20 million five-star reviews, you can get feedback from real customers before making the purchase. And boy, did we certainly look before making big investments in things like trampolines and even the furniture we get. It's always great to read past customer reviews. It's easy to put together. They also have people can help you assemble it. If you've never shopped with Wayfair before, now is the time to start. If I had to recommend one thing to a friend, it would be one of their comfortable outdoor seating sets. In that whole shopping experience to find the perfect couch for that outdoor furniture, we found some great pieces that we didn't actually need, but we We're like, we should maybe get that someday. Patio season is here, and these deals won't last. Head to wayfair.com right now and get your outdoor space ready for way less. That's wayfair.com, WAYFAIR.com, wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
There's a lot of moments in my life where I think there's no way I'm the only person dealing with this, thinking this. Does anyone relate to me? Well, thank God there's Reddit, because there's always drama. You guys know I'm a TV junkie, and when I'm not watching reality TV, I watch a lot of scripted TV as kind of my wind down. And well, sometimes I know you guys like to go on Reddit for all your reality TV friendships and conversations. When I'm just enjoying myself, I like to talk about what's going on with White Lotus. Friends and neighbors, discourse, sign me up. I go to r/television where I get all the conversations I can possibly want and more. Reddit is a real cross-section of options instead of a single narrative, so it always feels authentic and something to go back to. There's always a great perspective, an Easter egg observation, or just a fun fan theory that you can have a great conversation with people with similar interests to your favorite shows on Reddit. Whatever question you're dealing with, whatever problem you're stuck on, Reddit already has the answers. Download the Reddit app and get answers on r/television. Download the Reddit app today. Well, we've talked a lot about Nanit. We're absolutely obsessed with it. It's really been by Nally and I's side. We use it every night for River. We have one at the lake. We carry one when we travel. It's the peace of mind every parent wants when you are raising a young child. With a toddler and twins on the way, Nally and I need to be a united team. That's why we love Nanit. Obsessed with Nanit. We can check in on River's sleep. We know exactly when one parent puts her down, and maybe like Nally has to run an errand. I know exactly when she put her down, how long she's been napping for, what her sleep schedule looks like. We can also see her breathing, which every parent knows is the peace of mind you want. It's also just really cute. When I would put River down, River would point up and say, "Mama, up." She'd look at the Nanit camera, and she knows Mom is there by her side. You can obviously check in. When I'm traveling, I will be able to say hi to River, check in on her sleep. I listen to her sleep at night when I'm traveling. It's a great peace of mind that every parent wants. The overhead camera tracks sleep and breathing motions automatically and provides customizable real-time safety notifications. Parents can monitor their baby through the Nanit app or the dedicated 8-inch touchscreen display. Nanit lets you check in through the mobile app from everywhere, whether you're at home or working or traveling. I use it every time I'm traveling. It's a great way to stay connected close to you and your child. Wirecutter named Nanit the best Wi-Fi video monitor in 2026, and me, dad of 3 girls under 3, said you have to absolutely have it. It's truly amazing. I'm looking at River Sleep right now. Look, hey, Dad, I was attended to an hour and 19 minutes ago. See? I already know that she's been sleeping for an hour and 19 minutes. How about that? If you're expecting, I promise you, this is absolutely the number one item you are going to want and need on your baby registry. But if you want it now, or you want to give it to the dads as a Father's Day gift, don't wait. Nanit has 2 big sales happening this month. Head to nanit.com. That's nanit.com, nanit.com. Love the insight we got from Kaylor. My favorite part was when she, again, the nuance between acknowledging that producers play a role, but at the same time, like it doesn't alleviate people from their choices.
Yeah.
Which, it does make a little bit more sense if that was a conversation that maybe producers had with Bryce of like, oh, maybe, because it did feel so out of left field. And even when he brought it up to Zach and Zach like laughed and then he was like, oh, wait. Fuck, sorry, like you're serious.
Yeah.
Honestly, I felt that because it did come off as like a joke.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to do it.
But he didn't have to do it.
He could have been like, no, that's weird. I'm like, I'm really starting to feel things with Trinity. I want to see where it goes. I don't want to hurt her feelings. I'm friends with Zach. Like, he could have said all of those things. And all it took, potentially, if it was a producer, for a producer to give him that permission, like the bad friend who's like,
Yeah, it's always bad friend. It's
right? Like your friend is out in their fuckboy era,
yeah,
and you met someone that you kind of like and you're feeling, but your friend doesn't want to lose the wingman or the wingwoman, and they like kind of like feed you information that like isn't really in your best interest.
Yeah.
But like, we're all adults. Like you can't always blame the friend for like giving you the bad advice. You can just listen to yourself.
Right. Or it's like it's kind of different, but it was when you're like kind of getting serious with somebody, but it's not labeled or like exclusive yet. And your friend's like, but it's not like technically you're like not committed, right? And it's like that friend that gives the advice and then the person goes out and acts on it and then the other person's hurt. It's like that same kind of vibe,
I do think that's why Bea got sent home. I think she was giving too good of advice to cast people. That was almost, if producers are the friend who wants you to buy the boat and lead you down the path that, like, I had a producer say this to me long ago. They want you to maximize your inner urges, right? So if you have Bea there being like, hey,
let's think about
this. Let's, I've been there before. Let's
get her out immediately.
It's a great friend to have in life and a pain in the ass for producers. And I wonder if that had anything to do with Bea not going the distance, because she was so grounded and so centered and sure of herself. And I wonder if she was just giving really good advice. She's like, do you really need to talk to, do you really need to do that?
I do love how when Kenzie was talking to Caleb and she's like, it's just like not a red flag, maybe a yellow flag that you're just like younger than me. Like, and he's like, yeah, but I turned 22 in November. And she's like, yeah, I'm 24. Yeah. And like November is, months away, babe.
She's like, I will also be older.
I'll be 25.
Yeah. But then also Corbin being 22. I'm like,
Yeah. True. What's the difference?
They're both younger than you.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like when a little kid is like, I'll be 6 this year. And so you're like, oh, yay. Good job.
It's like this little girl at the park, River, will hang. She can hang for so long.
River
on just like a bar. Yes, for so long. Honestly, everyone's always like, oh my gosh, that's kind of crazy.
She's just hanging there?
She just hangs off of a bar.
Wow.
And there was this older girl who was kind of doing the monkey bars and whatever, watching her. And River was hanging. I'm like, wow, Riv, that's so good. It's like you've been hanging for 10 minutes. And then the older girl was like, well, I can hang for 20 minutes.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, she's only 2. And she was like, well, I'm 6. I'm like, okay. She's like, and my brother's 3. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's those kids that want to win regardless of what it was. Yeah.
Right. And then her mom told me that they fight like sisters. And I was like, I understand that. Yeah. And I would too.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Well, we had also the Rhode Island finale, and it definitely did not disappoint. I just can't believe Brian put a tracking device on her car.
So creepy.
Do you think he asked Rula to be like, hey, let's share each other's locations, and she said no?
But even the way that she explained like how she found out, where she was like, he started saying things where I was like, I feel like I'm being tracked.
Well, and even prior to them picking up cameras in this episode, when you watch it, you kind of like go back and forth of like, okay, so Rula does know, but she's protecting her marriage on screen.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, but she doesn't know that, because then Brian's now admitting to something, then walking in the room and not even telling her that he admitted to it.
Well, even at the dinner, not knowing every detail and knowing that sometimes, how TV is made, sometimes like there could have been an old rumor that the show is like, well, let's just make this rumor feel a little bit more newer so that it's like storyline. Brian and Rula almost had me convinced that maybe that this was something from the past.
They kind of talked about it, yeah.
Right? And almost as if like he's kind of talked to Rula about it, and Rula like doesn't want to see the video because it's like, yo, like we're dealing with this. But like all you're doing is just like putting salt on a wound that I'm in the process of healing.
Yeah.
And like kind of had me convinced it's that what it was. Cut to cameras being picked up. That like, think about it. Brian was at this dinner with all these people being called out on camera, admitting to like the affair, but in real time trying to convince all of us and the people he's sitting next to that's in the past, only for it to still be going on and for him to double down on this affair instead of like stopping it, realizing maybe, you know what, honestly, got really close there. This could have blown up my whole life, my whole marriage. He doubles down and instead puts a tracking device on her car so that he can, I'm assuming, try to like
avoid her.
Avoid her or like, hide the mistress under the desk if Rula shows up, whatever it is, to like try to essentially keep the affair going and not get caught.
Well, imagine being Rula where she said the way she realized was he was saying things where she's like,
how do you know that?
Yeah, like how weird.
Like that's even more intrusive too.
He's like, oh, did you see so-and-so at the bank? And she's like, I didn't tell you that I went to the bank. He's like, yeah. Well, no, Tuesday. I just was like, I just assumed that you went to the bank.
She goes to the BMW and then they're the ones that are like, we can't remove that.
You need to go to the police.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And how is there only 2 parts to reunion? Because I feel like I could get 2 full episodes of them interrogating Brian.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised he shows up.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're gonna figure out whether
Wait,
they're
was
together.
the
but
reunion before the arrest or after?
I think before. Well, we don't know.
we actually
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah,
know.
that's a good because
I think
Maybe
it's
they
after. I
filmed
think
the
it's
Oh,
after.
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I hope so. I want.
Do
yeah,
we
I
know
wanna
when those mugshots were taken? Because we do have a general timeline of when the reunion was filmed.
I love how at the table Liz pulls like, what's something someone in the group wants to know or we should know
Yeah.
about you, but we don't. And she's like, I'm going to ask Jared. And he's like, I love Rhode Island.
I
And
know.
she's like, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So
All of those
wholesome.
questions were meant for Brian, and they kept passing them off to other
1000%.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine sitting next to somebody and being like, the problem is next to me. Like I
know.
am not that bold.
What's Kelsey's boyfriend's name? They kept cutting to him, and you could tell he was so uncomfortable. He kept
Uncomfortable.
going like this the whole
Yeah.
time.
I can't imagine. I literally can't imagine. I could never do it.
So they filmed that a month after the show originally wrapped. So it's before.
The reunion.
Yeah, which is also
The arrest
confusing
is
with the
before?
timeline.
I just Googled, there's an article that says October 2025.
Is when they did the reunion?
No, when the
So I
mugshot
think
was
it's
taken.
when they
Mugshot.
filmed.
So yeah, he was arrested long before the reunion.
Right.
was filmed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll
Yeah.
talk about the arrest
Okay.
at the reunion.
Yeah.
I think Brian's just the type of guy who thinks he can talk himself out of anything.
Mm-hmm. It makes me sad though, because honestly, when the girls were sitting around and she was opening up, it still feels like that's not enough to leave him. You know, she's still because they're
Yeah.
like, "What are you gonna do?" And she's like, "I don't know." And it's like, "Damn, you don't know."
She's protecting.
I mean,
the
it's
family.
tough when you have kids together
Mhm.
and a whole life in this big, gorgeous house, and divorce can like
Yeah,
ruin all those things. And some,
It's heavy.
You know, I do think it's a little easier to just tell someone they should leave a situation.
yeah, I
Um,
agree. But I also think, and this is not me saying like you shouldn't do the show or something, because I would hate to let a man ruin a opportunity for a woman. But I'm like, damn, if you really don't want to have to relive this, like if you don't want people coming up and showing you videos, if you are okay with him doing this and tracking you and going, like if you're accepting that, okay, cool. But like you're just gonna have to own that, which she
Yeah.
kind of
you gotta
did
talk
this
about
last
it. It's got
episode.
it's
Yeah.
You can't be like, sorry, this is a closed door. No one
Right.
talk. No one try and make this a thing. No one
Yeah.
bring me any
Can't make this a
information.
thing.
Yeah,
It's
like
gonna be a thing.
Well, she did agree to shoot that scene,
yeah,
That's
that's
true.
true.
you know.
She dropped the charges in December too, so we know that.
Okay,
And then, according to Joellen, following the arrest, he had his mistress pick him up from jail.
that's crazy. Wow, it makes me sad for her.
I know.
Yeah.
I
I
will
did like-
say, Alicia, she is just such perfect television. That reproposal where he's like, all right, this is a restart. And she's like,
Well,
she keeps going to the past.
yeah, she's like, I don't
When
know.
she was like, "I'm not. Do I need to stand up, or are you going to get down on your knee, or something?"
That was
She's
a really
funny.
sweet moment.
That
Yeah, she's
And
really
it was also like, he clearly is not good at being romantic.
Yeah.
And not that, but it was sweet for him to acknowledge that and do his little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Andy, she was like, and on Watch What Happens Live, I think she was like, oh, he really tried to be romantic. And he's like, oh, he tried? And he's like, did he succeed? And she's like, well, no, but I appreciate him trying, you know? And it's like,
she's talking about the
Aw.
firudest one. And she's like, I had bronchitis. I had
Yeah.
mucus all down my throat.
she's so cute.
And they talked about like what was the pop, like the fudge pop, which
yeah.
does create like a lot of mucus,
Mm,
I related.
yeah.
It was a good finale.
It was good. I think I would, this is going to sound bad, but I think I might have been disappointed if the arrest didn't happen, because it was coming together a little bit. Like people were there was a lot of forgiveness, I felt like, amongst the women, like
Yeah.
Joellen and them. I think there was some
It
forgiveness.
felt like Brian was going to get away with it.
Exactly, yeah. So then I'm like, oh, here we go.
You guys watched Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of specifically Portia's sister's advice? Ask Nick advice, where she said, surface level, you should date 5 people so you can eliminate 1 if there's a red flag.
I mean, I think Kinsey needs to take that advice on Love Island because she's like, I don't know how to have a roster.
I had a friend tell me this exact same thing recently.
I think
Really?
it works.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked by that, because, and it makes sense though, because if you're focused on one person, you're going to overlook the little things because you're just you want it to work or whatever. But if you know that you have options, I've never been able to do it. That's my issue. It's like I can't. I just am like, I'm committed to the guy that doesn't even know I exist.
I
you
think
know?
it makes sense, but I feel like it's in the category of like Kyle and Amanda. Like, maybe you guys need to move out and not live together to see how you miss each other, you know, and like that never works.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Portia's old enough to be able to recognize red flags. And I don't know if you need to date other people in order to have the red flags that should be probably obvious in order to like recognize the red flags in the person you like the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you're better off just like seeing how people show up for you and acknowledging it without trying to make excuses for them, and just maybe know that like you know, have a crush on them or whatever it is. But like, I think it's advice that makes sense, but in practicality, I think it's just a little messier.
It is messy.
I mean, she was saying that the guy she was dating found out because she went on a panel and was like, well, I'm dating a girl and I'm dating a guy. And then it got picked up. But I mean, the part to me that stood out this episode was Dennis giving her back the ring. The fact that he called off the marriage in previous years, and Dennis caused all this drama in the previous season with Drew. And then now he's giving her the ring and being like, well, I kept this because maybe like eventually.
Oof.
Like, I never knew, maybe I could give it back to you. And like her having to be like, you're not the drama, you're the trauma.
Oh.
Yeah.
Powerful.
That's a powerful line.
Yeah.
That he gave her the ring back.
He gave it back, but he was saying like, I mean, they had like a back and forth relationship and he ultimately called it off back then. So, and then she's saying to hear now, you tell me that you kept it because you thought that one day maybe you'd be able to give it back to me. In a romantic sense is what it was.
But why is he? Yeah, but why did he? He's not giving it back in a romantic way now.
I think he's like half-assing it. You know when people do that when they realize you're moving on and then they're kind of like, okay, well,
but
here's...
here's this little nugget.
I kept this just in case.
Just in case, yeah. And
we really hate it when people move on from us.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Because you realize you lost the power.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want you. I don't want you, but I don't want you to get over me.
Yeah.
Type of stuff. That's. I feel like this is very that's sincere. He's not ready to let Melanie go.
Exactly.
Because he's not entirely sure if him and Sol are going to end up together, but like he still seems to like Sol more than he likes Melanie.
Yeah, which is why I think breadcrumbing becomes a thing. Like people want to keep their options open, but they want to explore other things. So they're like, well, let me give a little bit here. Let me say, oh, but I've been thinking about you in the back of my head for the past, however many years. I thought maybe someday. And then it's like, damn, that taps into like whatever wound or pain point. It's like.
It's called orbiting, right? When you like stay in someone's orbit.
Yes.
Orbiting. I'm getting more and more fascinated with Pinky's financial situation. And like last episode, she talked about her husband is very financially successful. Does that mean that their finances are like separate?
Well, her husband owns like a really successful food franchise. And I think she also did, but they were successful before they got together, I believe.
So they keep it separate?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it's just like two different businesses.
It's just interesting that she's going through all this kind of financial issues and all these people's money. And then, she's had to file for bankruptcy with her businesses, but yet her husband is, by her words, doing financially well. It's just, it's kind of very fascinating.
I wonder if, and I'm not saying, because I actually don't know that much about Pinky or her businesses. That would be a tough position, though, to be in a relationship and to have one business, you each have a business, one business is thriving and the other person has businesses that are not thriving. That would be hard, because if you're both business people, once you mix family with business, I mean, you've done it, and it can be hard to work with cousins, siblings, parents. Like that dynamic can be really tough. So
That's
I feel
why
like
I appreciate
that'd be really
her sharing
hard.
it.
Yeah.
Well, she's also said she like didn't share a lot of these like financial struggles with him for a while.
Yeah. Oh, that's
even
not good either, though.
More fascinating.
Yeah.
And like him being like, no, we're gonna get out of this. Like it's a very powerful like dynamic that they're sharing.
Yeah, and it's vulnerable for her too, because I think she probably seemingly carries a lot of pride of like, I've always been independent and I've always like been this go-getter, and then to have to ask for help, I think for any like independent woman is like, damn, like I didn't want to have to show my cards. I want everyone to see me as this person that I am, but sometimes you make mistakes or things just fail, even if you don't make a mistake.
Yeah. Well, and Pinky brought us the roller skating part of it.
Love that.
Phaedra and K. Michelle using the trainers. I thought that was iconic.
Well, that will do it for today's episode. Thank you to our guest, Kaylor Martin, and thank you guys for listening. We will certainly have more jam-packed episodes lined up for you this week. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to check out my Substack, which will be out tomorrow. I think you guys will all enjoy it. I hope that you do. We'll see you back on Thursday. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.